Part 13. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Shueshi. Chapter 121. Maybe it's because of money-making ability. Or maybe it's because of the deep love Gotham citizens have for Bruce Wayne. Or perhaps it's because of Bruce Wayne's unconcealable charisma. In short, when Yi-Lin and the legendary Bruce Wayne were sitting face to face, all the helicopters stopped attacking in unison, allowing the two to have a long conversation on the rooftop of Wayne Tower, drinking and drinking. The painting style suddenly became harmonious. Rays of light focused on the two of them. Damn! What did I see? Who is the Riddle gentleman? Bruce Wayne is drinking red wine with Mr. Riddle. Oh my god, I think today must be the 2nd April Fool's Day. Fortunately, Yi-Lin couldn't hear the translator's voice that was gradually changing over the communication channel. Can only say, the sponsor's father is awesome. Yi-Lin smiled at Bruce Wayne, poured half a glass of red wine, and shook it. Didn't you guess it? Bruce Wayne nodded. The long river of void, everywhere, going everywhere, refers to the rail transit system all over Gotham City. Take off the crown of the old king, haha. Old Bruce chuckled, paused, and did not continue to struggle with this riddle. Then he frowned, showing some confusion. It's just, how is the time of the crime hidden in the riddle? Forgive me. Let me be frank, the first half of your riddle, in my opinion, is more like useless nonsense. Yes, it's just nonsense. Yi-Lin admitted it openly, without any embarrassment on her face. Bruce Wayne was suddenly stunned when he heard this. Yes, the bunch of content in front of the riddle is all nonsense that has nothing to do with deciphering. It hides the really useful riddle of crime time. In fact, there is only one sentence. Break the barrier between reality and illusion. Yi-Lin chuckled, then stretched out his hand and gently pointed at the Patek Philippe watch on his wrist. Of course, Yi-Lin had no intention of showing off her wealth at this moment. I guess Bruce Wayne doesn't think Yi-Lin has this intention. No one can show off their wealth in front of him. He vaguely remembered that there was a box of this kind of watch in the utility room, but he was too lazy to take it out to match it. And what Bruce Wayne noticed was, the watch hands didn't move at all. Freeze at midnight. He suddenly remembered that he was in the video. At the beginning and at the end when Yi-Lin bowed politely as a gentleman, she seemed to point her watch at the camera inadvertently. This turns out to be the biggest tip. In the video that lasts for more than 2 minutes, the watch does not change at all. This is the crime time puzzle. No wonder Yi-Lin chose to publish the puzzle in the form of video. No wonder Yi-Lin talks a lot of nonsense in front of the puzzle. I see. I see. Bruce Wayne suddenly realized it after Yi-Lin's prompting. And, about the line the gentleman will descend in the center of the fireworks. As long as all the locations Yi-Lin has been bombed are connected, in the middle of the connection, there is, Wayne Tower. The mystery, solved. The answer to this riddle that fascinates the entire Gotham is so simple. But, it's full of secrets. Ha 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 ha. Bruce Wayne laughed happily. Interesting. 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 He didn't expect the answer to be so simple, but he deceived the entire Gotham, including himself, the once wise and brave Batman, Bruce Wayne. I lost. Bruce Wayne looked happy and drank the red wine in one gulp. Extremely enjoyable. This is a matchup that no one knows about. An intellectual duel between two wise men that spanned planes, time, and space, and came together because of the fate of the tower. Bruce Wayne admits defeat. He was defeated by his most proud intelligence. Is it the ability to make money that Bruce Wayne has always been proud of? Or the various equipment? Or is it the martial arts that has reached its peak? Or is it that unstoppable charm? No. In fact, it is wisdom. Call. Bruce Wayne puts down his empty wine glass. Quietly. He stood up with a smile and rolled his neck. Clicking sound. After all, he is old. Next, take off the laurels that were watched in the dark in the past. I would like to witness with my own eyes the methods of the riddle gentleman Edward Lin. Yilin lowered her head. It's almost time. If the delay continues, James Gordon Jr., who is probably so angry that he almost has a cerebral hemorrhage, will resort to even crazier methods. The atmosphere in Gotham has gradually gone wrong. If it weren't for completing the second main mission and striving for a higher evaluation, Yilin wouldn't be in the spotlight. Everything is a plan. The only person in this plan that was beyond Yilin's calculations was Pangenji. He didn't expect that Pangenji would come to a public cosplay show out of nowhere and snatch away other people's points. It's just baffling. But the mental ideas of a neurotic cannot be interpreted by ordinary people. Maybe it's that guy's intuition? But it does not affect the overall situation. Before Yilin traded with the other apostles, she roughly calculated how many sin points they could get from the TNT bombs in their hands. Of course, if Li Erpang or someone fails and does not cause explosions in other buildings as planned by Yilin, Yilin also has backup plans. He glanced silently at Bruce Wayne. That look was like looking at a pile of rich points. He. Yilin smiled slightly, stood up as well, and lowered the brim of his hat. Bruce Wayne has already squared off. A sense of déjà vu that says, I could play all day. Yilin suddenly stretched out two fingers. Bruce Wayne. Gotham. The riddle gentleman has now become the focus of Gotham. Even as early as when Yilin was drinking and chatting with the richest man, Bruce Wayne, there was a media private helicopter, hiding far behind the tactical helicopter, and taking live and long-distance shots of the Wayne Tower rooftop. The paparazzi in Gotham City are not worthy of their fame. This is GBC, this is GBC, I'm your favorite hot ditty, dear. Because the Gotham Gazette and WXYZ radio station were bombed, they were bombed. Now the legendary criminal will be exclusively reported by our GBC, exclusive report. Look. What is that? The riddle gentleman raised two fingers. Two fingers. Oh my God, is he going to declare victory in advance to the richest man, Mr. Bruce Wayne? No. 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 The riddle gentleman pressed down a finger. He pressed, down a finger. Breaking sound. Boom. The moment Yilin pressed down a finger, the unmanned B-78 tactical helicopter, which had been hovering above the head of Wayne Tower, suddenly exploded in the air. No warning. Exploded. Exploded. Gotham, which was bombed once, is now bombing again. At the moment when everyone, including Bruce Wayne, was attracted by the brilliant fireworks that exploded from the helicopter above. Even if it's just for a moment. It was enough for Yilin to make the next move. Driven by telekinesis, he flicked his wrist and flew the last TNT bomb card at an angle that no one noticed. The card was too small, the spotlight was too bright, and there were fireworks overhead. With all the factors working together, even Bruce Wayne, who was just a few steps away, didn't immediately notice Yilin's small move. Boom. Another explosion. 2 in a row, no 3 in a row. This is the last bomb Yilin holds. It's also the end of this night of explosive passion. The last fireworks from Gotham completely illuminate Gotham's past glory. When everyone heard the explosion, they all clamped their legs tightly. So exciting. It exploded again. It exploded again. What was bombed this time turned out to be Wayne Tower's W sign. That is the symbol of Wayne Tower. Even in the past when Gotham's villains were raging 20 years ago, no one could take it off, the symbol of Gotham's richest man. Suddenly, Bruce Wayne turned his head. The pupils shrank slightly. The riddle gentleman, Edward Ring, has disappeared. Just like that, disappeared out of thin air in front of him, Bruce Wayne. When Bruce Wayne was distracted by the explosion for less than 2 seconds. He felt the vibrations throughout Wayne Tower. Soon, the place where the explosion emitted billowing smoke flew into the sky. Throughout the Wayne Tower, fire alarm bells rang frantically. But Bruce Wayne doesn't care. This building is very strong and will not collapse even if it is exploded once or twice. As for repairs, not expensive anyway. The laurel crown of the old king? Is this what you originally meant? Bruce Wayne suddenly understood, and his smile gradually solidified. Only what he didn't know was, in Yulин's plan B, if the crime value of others is not enough, the laurel crown of the old king does indeed refer to his own head. That's what's called a pun. Gotham City. James Gordon Jr. was standing right in front of Wayne Tower. He witnessed with his own eyes that the flashing neon W sign was blown to pieces in an instant. Boom 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 boom. Fragments of signboards, glass, steel, and concrete, as well as the wreckage of helicopters falling in the sky, countless debris fell from high altitudes. But now the entire Gotham has been plowed by various explosions, and it has long been changed beyond recognition and is in chaos. The explosion from Wayne Tower was just the icing on the cake. And just when Yulin detonated the last TNT bomb, blowing up the W sign above Wayne Tower, a line of text suddenly appeared in front of his eyes. In the name of Riddle Gentleman, destroy Bruce Wayne, the richest man in Gotham City, the sign of Wayne Tower, and obtain a crime value of at 80,000. Main mission 2, restore Gotham City to its former glory, mission completed. Rewards are now distributed based on the ranking on the sin list. The text paused for a while. The system is stuck. Impossible. 3 seconds later, the mission rewards finally came out, and there were thousands of pear blossoms on the trees. No, the mission rewards were rolling in. Get reward, clearance evaluation level at 1. Is there such a reward? Yulin pondered for a moment in mid-air. Something feels wrong. The rewards for these 2 main quests. It seems that settlement is done after customs clearance. In other words, if you don't get out of the trial alive, then there is no need to honor the reward? How is this different from a bad check? And almost at the same time. In Gotham City. No matter what happens, everything is going crazy. Still running around with his head in his arms. Still smiling stupidly. Or maybe they are showing off their muscles silently. In front of all the apostles, the prompt main mission 2 completed appeared. However, it is unknown what the rewards will be for each person. That's it? It's over? That's it? Li Erpang slapped a gap in the crowd in front of him. There were many bullet holes in his body, and he was bleeding. The Black Goose Man uniform was already riddled with holes, leaving only a pant-shaped trousers, which just covered the body. Live in shame, and finally you don't have to be reduced to the pitiful state of streaking. At this time, after receiving the message that the task was completed, Li Erpang ran and opened the sin list to take a look. Sin list. Gotham's crime level 100,000/100,000,000, 100%. Iron 557771, 55.78%. Pangenji 270255, 27.03%. Li Erpang 83,216, 8.32%. Zuyuner 54432, 5.44%. Suzayasu 34326, 3.43%. Sad, sad, sad. The sin is heinous. This is against the law. But forget it. Li Erpang was very sad. He clearly remembered that the 2 fools Pangenji had a crime value of 255 before taking action. After this round of pretentiousness, the crime value increased neatly by 27 W. What does this mean? It shows that apart from those two cosplay shows, Pangenji has done nothing else. It jumped directly to second place on the crime list. Become the second crime star of Gotham. Li Erpang is simply jealous of his real name. Hatred. It seems to be a bit. In short, it's not a taste. And back over Wayne Tower. Whether it's a combat helicopter or a media helicopter. Everyone witnessed the scene with their own eyes. After the explosion, the Riddle gentleman Edward Lynn was missing from the top of Wayne Tower. Little James Gordon, who was commanding everything, was stunned for 2 seconds after receiving this information, but in an instant, he also reacted. He remembered the scene in the bell tower. Reminds me of the scene where the Riddle gentleman fell from the sky. He got it. He's enlightened. There is only one truth. The Riddle gentleman can fly. Attention, everyone, spread the spotlight and find the damn criminal near Wayne Tower. Hurry up. Receive. All helicopters received instructions from James Gordon Jr. at almost the same time. In an instant, all spotlights were removed from the Wayne Tower rooftop. Searching for the figure of the heinous criminal. After a few seconds. Found it. On the west side of Wayne Tower. About the 40th floor. This is the umbrella used by the Riddle gentleman to land. Boo hoo hoo hoo. All the light beams gathered together. Shoot. Kill. When little James Gordon heard the great news coming from the channel, he waved his hand without hesitation. Kill. 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 Let the blood of the Riddle gentleman bloom in the sky of Gotham. Why don't we kill this kind of person and keep him for Christmas? Chug tug tug. The combat helicopters that surrounded the circle opened fire one after another, directly shooting the black umbrella into a sieve. No umbrella could survive this kind of firepower. Etc. Umbrella. Where are people? After the passion, no, after the strafing, all the pilots on the helicopter were stunned in unison. Go, go, go. James Gordon Jr. Too excited? Chief Gordon, there are only umbrellas and no one there. The Riddle gentleman, Edward Lynn, disappeared again. Gotham. Snapped. Little James Gordon smashed the police hat on his head to the ground again. Snapping sound. It also brought out a few strands of golden hair. While others are pondering their ranking on the sin list. Before James Gordon Jr. lost his hair. Before the helicopter strafed the umbrella. Yilin said she was a little busy. After using 2 consecutive explosions to divert everyone's attention, Yilin took advantage of the effects of the 2 magical little buffs to directly activate walking like a shadow and hid silently in the darkness. The sense of presence dropped by 100%. At that moment, even Bruce Wayne did not notice when Yilin disappeared from front of him. Just a moment. Yilin's grasp of the timing of skills is almost perfect. But Yilin is still in mid-air now. In fact, no one knew that his landing with an umbrella was just a gimmick and a cover-up. The black umbrella in his hand is actually just an ordinary umbrella. Nothing special. Of course it's not a mediocre series either. Yilin is just creating the illusion for everyone that the Riddle gentleman is landing with an umbrella. To be precise, it's an illusion in which the Riddle gentleman has to use an umbrella to land. The truth is, that black umbrella has no use other than to enhance your character. Yilin landed layer by layer. Empty hands. No umbrella. In the darkness, Yilin silently released his psychokinetic tentacles and pulled his body toward the wall. Originally, in the case of a normal fall, with the current intensity of his psychodynamic force, this was an extremely difficult operation that was basically impossible to complete. But with this slow landing, it's easy to do. Yilin sticks to a certain floor. Blood Jasmine stabbed the glass, shattering it, and Yilin disappeared outside Wayne Tower in the next 2 seconds. Oh, sure enough, I knew that the richest man with nearly 100 million people would definitely not let the power outage in Wayne Tower. Yulin dusted himself off. The pure black tuxedo is spotless. Lower the brim of your hat. Yulin took the elevator silently. 3 minutes later. Little James Gordon, who was losing his hair, did not notice that a gentleman as elegant as an aristocrat strutted out of the main entrance of Wayne Tower. In the blink of an eye, it melted into the darkness and disappeared. At night, it is the world of gentlemen. Dr. Jack silently turned off the TV. The special program broadcast on TV was officially broadcast by GBC, the only broadcasting company in Gotham. Riddle Gentleman Special. And its live broadcast. Dr. Jack smiled slightly. He sat in the office and subconsciously reached out, trying to take out something. Oh, I almost forgot, there is no need for a key here. Dr. Jack opened the drawer directly. There is a small hole where the lock is. If Yulin saw this scene, she would definitely be familiar with it. Because he dug this hole with his own hands. Deep impression. Dr. Jack's expression did not change at all. He carefully took out all the messy things in the drawer, such as mirrors, cosmetics, lipstick, notes, notebooks, etc. And in the innermost part of the drawer. I don't know when, but another small box was hidden. Dr. Jack stroked the box silently. Suddenly he sighed. Those old guys also need further treatment. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Shueshi. Chapter 122. This night. Gotham is destined to never be at peace. Wait until it gets dark. The fires and screams that filled every corner of Gotham City gradually subsided. Little James Gordon's eyes were bloodshot. Staring at the red sun rising gradually in the sky. The first thought in my mind was, the damn sky is finally dawning. Almost all facilities in Gotham City are paralyzed. Bruce Wayne used GBC to issue an announcement as soon as possible in the early morning. The restoration of all Gotham City facilities will be entirely funded by Wayne Enterprises. Long live the sponsor, Dad. After this news was reported to the whole city, hundreds of thousands of Gotham citizens praised Bruce Wayne. Money skills are so unpretentious and boring. Urin hid at the beach. Miller's Harbor. This side was bombed first, and access to and from the area was blocked. Instead, Port Miller was deserted and seemed particularly quiet. Now the main task 2 has been completed. Before the main mission 3 was released, it gave Yulin and other outsiders enough breathing time. But the longer the break is, the more it gives people a sense of calm before the storm. It's getting more and more unsettling. Yulin did not continue to act. Nowadays, the 4 major districts of Gotham City are completely plunged into chaos and disorder. No matter how low the sense of presence is, it is difficult for people not to notice his presence. And it's still daytime. So after careful consideration, Yulin decided to take a good rest and recharge her batteries. Get yourself into the best shape before the 3rd main quest is released. Old Gordon actually felt a little strange. The entire Gotham City was almost completely blown apart. However, the mayor's mansion where he was located was relatively intact, except for some of the aftermath of the rail transit incident. Is it because those criminals from the east don't know the location of the mayor's residence because they are not locals? Old Gordon lowered his head and thought for a moment. It seems possible. After all, because this place is not open to tourists, this place is not mentioned at all in the Gotham City travel guide. 20 years. Old Gordon sighed. He didn't expect that 20 years after he became the mayor of Gotham City, he would be lucky enough to relive those dark days. Think back to those days. When old Gordon was still the sheriff of Gotham City, he would always silently make bat-shaped calls to the sky from the rooftop of the Gotham police station during the long dark nights. Then a menacing Batman descended from the sky. Thinking of the confrontations with those legendary criminals back then, old Gordon's wrinkled palms couldn't help but tremble slightly. Old friend. He knows. Bruce Wayne is old. Time is not forgiving. Gordon Sr. took out a bottle of drink from the refrigerator. This is a newly launched drink not long ago, the upgraded version of Happy Fat Home Water. It quickly occupied the Gotham beverage market as soon as it was launched. I have to say, it tastes pretty good. Drink it in one sip and calm down your shock. I felt inexplicably happy. Old Gordon didn't notice it himself, but a flush like drunkenness gradually appeared on his face. Hey hey hey. He suddenly laughed. Staggering to the elevator. He also installed an elevator in the two-story mayor's residence. Anyway, my old friend has money, so it doesn't matter. In the elevator, in addition to the first floor and second floor, there is also a B floor. What does B mean? It's actually quite easy to understand. This is a letter full of mystery. Old Gordon chuckled and took the elevator down slowly. Dad. Half an hour later. James Gordon Jr. stormed into the mayor's mansion. Eyes red. The expression is ferocious. He spent the whole night frantically searching for those damn criminals in the shabby Gotham City. Especially the damn riddle gentleman, Edward Lynn. He's desperate enough to even give up on trying to rescue Gotham City. Use all the power you can to mobilize just for a few criminals. But now Gotham is in chaos. To find a few criminals who deliberately hide in Gotham City with a large population is undoubtedly to find a needle in a haystack. The riddle gentleman just disappeared from the world, mysteriously disappearing from everyone in Wayne Tower. And mysteriously disappeared completely from Gotham City. No news. GBC's morning news frantically repeated two headlines. The first, of course, is the news that financier Dad Bruce Wayne is funding the rebuilding of Gotham. The second item is the mysterious disappearance of the riddle gentleman in Wayne Tower, which is like a series of puzzles he set up, which is puzzling. The riddle gentleman, as his name suggests, is destined to become a riddle that no one in Gotham City can solve. Dad. Little James Gordon broke into the mayor's mansion, but strangely found that his proud father was nowhere to be seen. Although he grew up here. But since he ascended to the position of Gotham Sheriff, he rarely returns to this place. There are many reasons. But the most important reason is, because after Joker died and a group of former villains were imprisoned in nursing homes and retired, the crime rate in Gotham City quickly dropped to 0.0 in the shortest possible time. Plus Gordon Sr. enacted a series of Gotham laws. As long as the criminal is executed on the spot. Therefore, as the new police chief, he actually has no sense of existence. James Gordon Jr. did not want to be reported by the media. He relied on Gordon Sr. to get the position of sheriff. Even if this is true, he didn't want to hear such reports either. Therefore, intentionally or unintentionally, he rarely appears in public in Gotham City at the same time as Gordon Sr. At the very least, in the eyes of Gotham citizens, he is still an excellent police chief who works hard to maintain Gotham's zero crime rate. But since those damn criminals emerged, everything has changed. The Gotham Police Department exploded on the spot. And it still exploded in front of him. That damn riddle gentleman. Damn Edward Ring. Damn criminals. Broken voice, damn. After finally calming down, James Gordon Jr. stared at old Gordon's red eyes and searched around old Gordon's house, but found no trace of old Gordon. Is it upstairs? Little James Gordon's heart skipped a beat. His dad doesn't answer the phone either. It made him feel a little uneasy for no reason. Is something going to happen? Suddenly, he discovered an exquisite and luxurious elevator. I remember that in the past, this mayor's mansion did not have an elevator. After all, it's only 2 floors. He walked into the elevator in confusion. First floor, second floor. Right now. A mysterious letter caught the eyes of little James Gordon. That's a big bee full of mystery. Little James Gordon looked at the bee quietly for a moment. 10 seconds later, he pressed his finger down almost by mistake. The feel, nothing special. Gotham City. Afternoon. Miller's Harbor. Should you give us an explanation? Li Erpang was chewing fried chicken legs and staring at Yulin menacingly. Not far away, Zuyuner and Suzayasu were also standing aside. Suzayasu's face was expressionless. But Zuyuner's eyes were also cold. Yulin chuckled, explanation? Explain what? This rhetorical question is used. Li Erpang couldn't help but be stunned. Yes. Explain what? Yuren stole the show last night as the Riddle Gentleman, which is indeed his skill. As for the TNT bomb, it was Li Erpang who took the initiative to trade it with his own props. One is willing to fight, the other is willing to suffer. In the end, the TNT bomb they had in hand did not achieve the desired effect. After careful calculation, Yulin was not to blame. But no matter what, other people always feel a little bit unhappy. There is always a feeling of embarrassment in Yulin's heart when he is toyed with and applauded. In particular. Now the guilty list can still be opened. Clicking on it, Yulin's name was far ahead on the list. Every time he saw this list, Li Erpang felt as uncomfortable as if he had eaten beep. Although he hasn't eaten it. But the feeling should be almost the same. And Yulin's tone suddenly became colder. He looked at Zuyuner, his eyes swept across the snow-white neck, and said slowly, I only made deals with Fatty and brother Su, sister Su, you. Haha, with all due respect, you use this staring at me, I will misunderstand that you want to start a war with me at any time. Yulin's eyes that gradually turned cold seemed to be telling Zuyuner. I'm not afraid of you. Zuyuner was silent for a moment. The killing intent gradually subsided. Now, more than half of this trial has passed. Although Yulin played some tricks, the battles between the apostles were all based on skill. She was just a little unhappy. Call. Zuyuner suddenly raised her head with a calm expression, where is Pan Zhenji? Right. Li Erpang slapped his thigh, what about the second fool? I'm looking down on him. He now wished he could drag Pan Zhenji out and say something in front of those two fools. I have a saying about MMP, I wonder if I should say it or not. If you think about it carefully, if Pan Zhenji hadn't come out of nowhere in the end, their sin points would not be so pitiful. Yulin looked away from Zuyuner and smiled slightly. Unfortunately, I don't know where he is. Are you kidding me? You know him in real life, why would you have no contact with him? In fact, Li Erpang was very suspicious that Pan Zhenji's incident was under Yulin's instruction. After all, in this mission, Yulin has demonstrated his unparalleled wisdom and cunning to the entire Gotham. Li Erpang had every reason to suspect that Yulin used various reasonings to guess the location where they buried the bomb, and then revealed it to Pan Zhenji, so that the second idiot finally put on a cosplay show. It is possible to suspect a car without evidence. This does not require evidence. Zuyuner also showed a disbelieving sneer. Yulin suddenly said in a very serious tone, if I told you that he really ran away from a mental hospital, would you believe it? I believe you. Li Erpang glared at Yulin. Murderous. Yulin was also a little helpless. In fact, he couldn't guess how Pan Zhenji learned the location of other people's explosions. He was even secretly glad that the time he set in advance did not conflict with Pan Zhenji's showtime. Otherwise, the bombing of the Gotham Transit rail system will probably also be blamed on Pan Zhenji. Of course, it's not that simple for Pan Zhenji to really take the credit. After all, Yulin had done enough preliminary preparations for the title of Riddle Gentleman. As long as someone announces the answer to the puzzle, the criminal value will probably hardly fall on Pan Zhenji. Intuition. After thinking about it, Yilin could only use this mysterious reason to explain Pangenji's actions. Although it is a bit far-fetched. Right now, including Yilin, the four apostles who were hiding in Miller Harbor in Gotham City unanimously stopped arguing. The atmosphere suddenly became quiet in an instant. The expressions are different. Because, at the same time, Main Mission 3 was released. Riddle Gentleman, Joker, Black Goose Man, Empress, King Kong. Your name is gradually remembered by Gotham. Some of you may be destined to remain immortal in Gotham's history. But when the new life ushered in the old days, who can dominate the darkness of Gotham? Main Mission 3, completely eliminate Gotham's legends of the past, return after completing Main Mission 3, mission failed, all wiped out. You will be the new legend. Note, Sin list is converted into Gotham Rising Stars list. Note, the final settlement of the clearance evaluation will be based on the Gotham Rising Stars list. The Sin value is being converted. Conversion completed. The Gotham Rising Stars list is now open. This is quite sudden. Li Erpang only remembered the 4 words eternal immortality for the task prompts that were printed out in a large area. It seems unlucky. Yilin silently wrote down all the words word for word. At first glance, there should be no pitfalls. The main theme of this trial is somewhat different from the Giwu Mountain trial. But remember it clearly and you will never go wrong. In case. Gotham Rising Star List. Iron 5 points. Pangenji 2 7 points. Li Erpang 8 points. Zhu Yuner 5 points. Suzayasu 3 points. When Yilin saw the transformed list, her eyes couldn't help but narrowed slightly. Old days. Yilin lowered the brim of her hat and silently made several guesses about the final mission. After all, he spent a lot of time reading biographies of all the best-selling characters in Gotham City. He may not know any less about Gotham City than Fatty Li Erpang, a senior fat man, etc. Seeing that Yilin was about to leave, Zhu Yuner actually took the initiative to call Yilin. It seems that you already have a clue about the third main mission. Yilin glanced at Li Erpang. I saw Li Erpang with his back to the 2 women, winking at Yilin, and the fat on his face was squeezed into layers of rich wrinkles. Of course, no matter how hard he squinted, he couldn't tell the change in his eyes. Then, let me give you a hint. Yilin ignored Li Erpang's crazy instructions and laughed, don't forget where we came from. Arkham Nursing Home. Zhu Yuner lowered her head and thought for a moment. Li Erpang looked up to the sky and sighed. Suzayasu's expression was still indifferent. When she came to her senses again, Yilin had already walked hundreds of meters and disappeared from the sight of several people in the blink of an eye. Night fell silently. Gotham is once again on edge. After all, it was obvious that those criminals chose to commit crimes at night. Although during the day, the entire Gotham City did not see that new generation of Gotham criminals making trouble. However, GBC radio station had already invited relevant experts to urgently record a series of special programs during the day. Gentleman's Legend. It's about predicting the form of the Riddle Gentleman's next riddle, and analyzing the Riddle Gentleman's modus operandi. In short, this temporarily added program put the entire Gotham in a strange atmosphere in advance. I'm both nervous and a little bit looking forward to it. Looking forward to the next riddle from Riddle Gentleman. And expectations. In the end, how will the Riddle Gentleman die in Gotham? Li Erpang, Zhu Yuner and Suzayasu decided to go together as a group after a brief discussion. After all, in this trial, if we only look at the main tasks, there is no direct conflict between the apostles. Even if they are competing for evaluation levels, in the end everyone will rely on their own abilities, and no one can blame anyone. Although there is resentment, there is always a little bit of it. But at the end of the dungeon, everyone still played solo, which seemed a bit stubborn. As we all know, Fighting the boss as a team is the way to go. Following Yilin's prompting, the three apostles rushed across Gotham City to the nursing home as quickly as possible. Be reasonable. When they were old and frail, they were indeed a little panicked when facing those old perverts. But now that they have returned to their youthful and tender stage, those old perverts come and kill one, come and kill a pair. I am such an emotional apostle. Li Erpang patted the thick fat on his belly and sighed. Along the way, they passed through the Upper East Side. Just run along the banks of the Spang River and you'll be back on the artificial island where Arkham Nursing Home is located in no time. Gotham City is now in chaos. Although many citizens have seen the body and physical characteristics of Fatty and others, they are only slightly similar to the Black Goose Man, Empress and King Kong reported in the media. But they didn't need evidence, they just had suspicions, so they just carried their guns and went straight to kill everyone. His expression gradually became crazy. His expression gradually changed. The war is about to begin. Suzayasu did not step back and stood directly in front of everyone. Even though no one had ever mentioned it, in the past 2 days, they also discovered that they had the ability to heal. As long as you are injured, the wound will slowly heal. Health will also be restored quickly. Coupled with Suzayasu's terrifying muscle strength, she is indeed the perfect candidate to be a tank. As for Fatty, he can safely play the role of deputy tank. His Zuyuner no longer hid her strength, the sword energy of the ancient longsword in her hand surged, and she slashed horizontally with the sword, as if even the space was cut out. In the blink of an eye, she and Suzayasu fought a bloody path in Gotham's Upper East Side. Come. No points. While killing, Li Erpang silently glanced at the list of new ship versions. Gotham Rising Stars list. There are no points for killing ordinary good citizens. It seems. This last main mission is exactly what that boy Yilin had guessed. Only by killing all the legends of the old era can you gain points on the Gotham Rising Stars list. It doesn't matter if you don't see it. At this sight, Fat Brother's anus tightened instantly. I shouted out subconsciously. Damn it, that kid Yilin did it again dash. Suddenly. He hasn't finished speaking yet. Suddenly, I felt that the surrounding atmosphere became a little weird. It seemed to have calmed down for no apparent reason. Quite suddenly. Suzayasu silently stretched out her hand and stopped Li Erpang and Zuyuner. Because Li Erpang was busy looking at the list and yelling, he didn't pay attention for a moment, and suddenly bumped into some indescribable part of Suzayasu. Wait, why do you say again? Li Erpang rubbed the painful bridge of his nose. Because Brother Su was tall, he completely blocked Li Erpang's sight, making it impossible for Li Erpang to see clearly what was happening in front of him. But just when Suzayasu stopped, a voice that was both familiar and unfamiliar came from the front. He. It turns out it's you. So. Surprise. The exaggerated tone of surprise at the end made people feel inexplicably creepy after hearing it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Shueshi. Chapter 123. 30 minutes ago. After night falls, it's time for Yilin to take action. He closed the Apostle panel silently. In the upper right corner of the Apostle panel, the skull countdown is running out. Obviously, the skull countdown is the time limit for this trial. What will happen when the countdown ends? Yilin believed that no apostle would want to use their body to verify it. After all, it might hurt a little. Surrounded by twisted track debris and bombed-out buildings. If it weren't for the map of Gotham City still memorized in her mind, it would be difficult for Yilin to identify her current location based only on the surrounding ruins. Just because the Gotham of yesteryear is riddled with holes. It was so explosive that even Bruce Wayne might not recognize it, let alone him. Fortunately there is navigation. Although a certain mathematician said that a straight line is the shortest between 2 points. But it is impossible for Yulin to connect directly from Miller Harbor to Arkham Nursing Home, across Gotham's Upper East Side, like Lee Erpang and others did. After all, this area can be said to be one of the most prosperous areas in Gotham City. The crowds are so dense that if you want to cross, you will inevitably face a hail of bullets. Unless you have to fight your way out. Yulin is getting closer and closer to Arkham Nursing Home. Actually, Yulin has no plans to return to the nursing home. If his guess is not wrong, the group of dying old people will take the initiative to run out of the nursing home with a new attitude. Suddenly. Right now. Yulin silently stepped into a dark corner. There are no lights anywhere. His heartbeat was inexplicably faster, and his skin began to emit a scalding temperature inexplicably. Plop, plop, plop. It's becoming clearer. In fact, Yulin felt something strange about her body as early as 10 minutes ago. It was as if there was something in all directions in Gotham City that had somehow established a connection with him. Connected by blood. Following that weird feeling, Yulin came all the way here. There was a tall and slender figure sitting on the ground leisurely. Seeing Yulin's arrival, he smiled slightly, as if he had been waiting for Yulin from the beginning. In the darkness, the green suit shone silently. The green is deep and very eye-catching. Edward. Edward the Riddler chuckled and stood up suddenly. I have been doomed from the beginning. I cannot be violated, but there are always people who shamelessly want to fight against me. Who I am. Destiny. Yulin thought for a moment and whispered the answer the Riddler wanted. Edward Nigma. This is a brand new riddle that the wise Edward just came up with not long ago. Asshole. Why did it suddenly break after saying it was broken? Hey hey hey. However, Edward the Riddler's eyes flashed. Suddenly he smiled coldly. Old friend, long time no see. Exactly, 20 years. Yulin's face was expressionless, and she suddenly raised her head, her eyes blurred, as if looking somewhere in the void. Let the world feel pain from now on. Riddler. Plop. Just as Yulin finished speaking, a figure grunted from mid-air and fell directly from a height. Boom. It just happened to hit Yulin not far away. The moment the figure fell, the surrounding temperature suddenly dropped a few points. As Yulin opened her mouth to breathe, the hot air she exhaled turned into a cold white mist in the blink of an eye. Riddler. Yulin took out the blood jasmine without any hesitation. Morphological changes. Bloodshot. The blood jasmine instantly decomposed into countless blood-colored threads, wrapping the unconscious figure on the ground like a cocoon, and after a few seconds, it was completely twisted into minced meat on the ground. Kill the old Gotham legend, Mr. Freeze. Victor Freeze. Earn points, add 10. Get chaos value, add 500. Riddler. Gotham Freeze's abilities come from the cell structure of his body and the armor that is equipped with a high-tech cryogenic laser gun. If you guessed correctly, Mr. Freeze's set of equipment should be the same as the question mark scepter. They are both epic-level equipment and have weird abilities. But without frozen cells, Yulin would probably have difficulty exerting the full effect of this set of equipment. To be on the safe side, Yulin still touched the body expressionlessly in front of the Riddler. Bones. Among the pieces of meat on the ground, Yulin took out a round thing. Cryogenic bomb. Grade rare. Effect: create a prototype low-temperature field with a diameter of 1 meter at the location where the explosion is triggered, lasting 3 seconds. Explanation: in the eyes of Mr. Freeze, whether it is a lover or an enemy, freezing is forever. Number of uses, 1/1. Yulin silently put away the cryogenic bomb. Bai Xiaoi returned to Yulin's body quietly. This time, because of the urgent situation, Bai Xiaoi did not dare to say any nonsense. He completely obeys Yulin's instructions and is extremely well behaved, going wherever he is told. She was really afraid that if Yulin was unhappy, she would just say, "Wonke, go. Then you really have no face to act like a spirit." Edward Nigma lowered his head and glanced at the minced meat on the ground. "My eyelids jumped a few times. Etc. This style of painting is wrong. Isn't it said that the riddle gentleman is a battle of wits? Didn't we agree to judge villains based on their IQ?" He swallowed silently. "Old friend, I think there may be some misunderstanding between us. He chuckled. While smiling, the other hand silently reached behind his back, preparing to pull out a gun. "It's nothing, there's no misunderstanding or anything like that." Yulin squinted her eyes and smiled. As she spoke, she took action without hesitation. "Kill the old Gotham legend, the Riddler Edward Nigma. Earn points, add 10. Get chaos value, add 100. The Riddler can be called the worst villain in the nursing home. His exclusive equipment was stolen by Yulin, and he is not the type who is good at confrontation. All in all, this death was quite sudden. This can also be seen in the chaos value. 3 words, quite miserable." Yulin casually took away 2 Gotham old legends. By the way, he touched the Riddler's body. Sure enough, no new props were discovered. After all, the Riddler's most valuable scepter was tricked by Yulin when he was in the nursing home. But at this moment, not long after Yulin killed the Riddler and Mr. Freeze successively, a layer of green mist actually floated from the bodies of the 2 people. Yulin's pupils shrank suddenly. Almost without hesitation, less than a second after the 2 green mist floated up from the corpses of the 2 villains, Yulin activated the Run Fast skill, and immediately activated the psychic power on the skin. A thin barrier is laid on the surface. 1 Thought Power Shield. 2 Run Fast. 3 Hold Your Breath. 4 Retreat. 5 Think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Yulin completed a series of actions in an instant. But those 2 green mists seemed to have become spirits. He retreated a little faster than Yulin, and directly stalked Yulin. No. To be precise, it was more like being attracted by some kind of existence in Yulin's body. Yulin ran dozens of meters in one breath, but the 2 green mists were like gangrene attached to the bones and could not be shaken off at all. Instead, they got closer and closer. Hiss. In the blink of an eye, the 2 green mists floating up from the Gotham villain's corpse actually broke through Yulin's thin barrier of telekinesis and entered Yulin's body. Yulin's expression changed. Poison. He immediately thought of this possibility. Biochemical weapon. Microorganism. Virus type. Stink. Soul weapon. Yulin instantly thought of other possibilities. In the blink of an eye, those 2 green mists had completely integrated into Yulin's body and disappeared. There is no trace left. And just after the 2 green mists disappeared, 2 lines of extremely secret prompts appeared in front of Yulin's eyes. What is secret? For example, if the normal task prompt is a 16-point font, so the 2 lines of text that passed by Yulin's eyes were only number 6. If the refresh rate is too fast, you will probably ignore it at a glance. Purity improved, current purity, 33%. Purity improved, current purity, 42%. Gotham City. Upper East Side. Riverbank. A girl with a voluptuous figure, twisting her small waist, slowly walked from the other side. Her face was covered with exaggeratedly bright and heavy makeup, and her scarlet lips, while exuding infinite charm, also made people feel a kind of weirdness coming from the bottom of their hearts. The girl's tight top, exaggerated curves, slender legs, sharp high heels, and a wet metal baseball bat were all seen in one hand. Anyway, the stick is a bit moist. Li Erpang swallowed hard. Let's not talk about whether we can recognize this girl. That stick alone was enough to make Li Erpang say the girl's name loudly. Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn. And it's a rejuvenated Harley Quinn. Li Erpang suddenly tightened his anus. He suddenly remembered the fear of being dominated by Harley Quinn's stick in the nursing home. The moment Harley Quinn appears, Li Erpang immediately understood. Arkham Nursing Home is expected to be renovated and replaced with a brand new plaque today. Arkham Asylum. Hey hey hey. In the darkness, figures one after another walked out from behind Harley Quinn. Two-Face. Penguin. Silence. Poison Ivy. Bane. One by one. These are all old legends of Gotham City. Not long ago, they were a dying old man and old woman in a nursing home, giggling, playing cards, drinking tea, and raising birds. When they met again, they actually came back in their peak form. Acridine. Harley Quinn suddenly pointed at the fat man hiding behind Suzayasu and laughed happily. He, little fat man, long time no see, sister, I still remember your smell very clearly. Haven't seen you for a long time. It's obviously just a few days after we met. Li Erpang was complaining crazily deep in his heart. Are you still suffering from Alzheimer's disease? If you have taste, your whole family will have taste. Li Erpang sighed. Thinking of the requirements of the third main mission, it seems that there is no way to leave this weird Gotham City without killing all the ghosts and ghosts that once roamed Gotham. There is only, kill, kill, kill. Li Erpang shook off his fat. Standing next to Suzayasu. Hiss. Suddenly. In the darkness, there was a faint hissing like a poisonous snake spitting a message. Waves of alluring fragrance penetrated into the mouths and noses of the three of them. At the same time, from the cracks in the wall, countless tentacle-like vines, covered with sharp thorns, grew at a crazy speed. It's Poison Ivy's ability. Suddenly, a tall figure like a tank rushed over silently. The giant wore a ferocious mask on his face, revealing only a pair of cold and ruthless eyes with crazy eyes. He is Bane. Suzayasu shouted coldly. The muscles all over the body are bulging, and the tendons are like twisted steel bars, looking full of explosive power. Boom. Suzayasu vs Bane. The collision of strength and power. In an instant, there was a terrifying explosion centered on the two of them. Rubbles were thrown up one after another. Ah! Just when everyone in the nursing home was completely released into Gotham City. Now. Arkham Nursing Home. The signboard Gerocomium was smashed down and shattered on the ground. Only the Arkham sign remained, dimly lit and flickering. The door of Arkham Nursing Home, which was originally closed, was indeed completely open at this moment. But there was dead silence. There wasn't even any movement of any living person. Bang 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 bang, bang. Somewhere in a nursing home. In the exclusive office of Dr. Jack, there were sounds of typing on the keyboard, mixed with the click of the mouse. A man who looked to be in his 30s, wearing a white coat, sat silently in front of the computer. From time to time he let out an inexplicable chuckle. He. Hey hey hey. He dash. Ja. His expression gradually became distorted. The laughter gradually became perverted. On the fluorescent computer screen, there was all photos of the same person. From boyhood, youth, adulthood, old age. Life photos, scandal photos, bed photos, multi-person sports censored photos, ahem. Various colors and dazzling array. All the same person. Bruce Wayne. Suddenly, the picture on the screen changed. That's the end of all Bruce Wayne pictures. It was a picture of a masked man wearing a black cloak walking quietly in the deserted Gotham City in the dark night. The masked man has a bat-shaped symbol on his chest. In his hands, dragging a strange corpse. The corpse was wearing a funny and bright purple suit, with a blood hole on its chest, and its face covered in paint was fixed on an extremely satisfied smile. J-j-j-j. Bruce. Ah, my beloved Bruce. Dr. Jack, who regained his youth, turned off the computer. The table was filled with all kinds of messy things. He carefully held up a mirror. Then, facing the clear mirror, I used the cosmetics on the table to carefully smear on my face. At last, after painting his face colorfully and weirdly, Dr. Jack picked up a blood-red lipstick, broke it off with his finger, and made a big mark on his lip with his fingertip. Smiley face. Hello, Joker. Hee 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 hee. After omitting 10 minutes of scenes that are not suitable for girls, young Jack, wearing a shiny purple suit and shiny leather shoes, happily left Dr. Jack's office while humming a weird ditty. Ah, my Bruce, hee 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 hee. At the end of the corridor, Dr. Jack's weird smile echoed from time to time. Behind him were corpses that had become cold on the ground, paving the hallways of nursing homes. Half an hour later, a sneaky figure suddenly appeared from the other end of the corridor. That face still had the crazy clown paint, exaggerated scarlet lips, and messy hair. Hey, ah. Joker was originally just passing through. But he suddenly seemed to have discovered something, and turned back with curiosity. If Yilin and the others were here at this time, they would definitely be able to tell the difference without hesitation. This Joker is clearly Pangenji in disguise. Pangenji happily stepped over the countless corpses, leaving bloody footprints all over the ground. He passed Dr. Jack's office inadvertently. 3 seconds later, it turned back. Kindaji Holmes' Joker seemed to smell the fragrance of a criminal. Pangenji suddenly grinned. Stride into the office. His nose twitched slightly and he went straight to Dr. Jack's computer. Press the power button. The computer configuration was extremely high. Pangenji only had time to shake his legs when the prompt "Please enter your password" popped up on the computer interface. Pangenji slapped the keyboard. Wrong password. Pangenji looked curiously at the long series of little stars on the screen. Lower your head. Then he rolled his face up. This wave is the password to roll out with your face. Wrong password. Pangenji was trembling all over. A lot of the dry paint on his face was rolled off by the keyboard. The cloudy eyes were widened. I don't know if I accidentally clicked on the password prompt while scrolling the keyboard. A question actually popped up on the interface. Who am I? Who I am? Pangenji said to himself. 1 second later, he cheered happily. Joker. While cheering, Pangenji quickly entered 5 letters. Unlock successfully. Yo-ho. Yilin silently glanced at the Gotham Rising Stars list. Walking silently on the streets of Gotham City. The whole of Gotham is completely crazy. For some reason, I was immersed in a weird and crazy atmosphere. The entire Gotham City, both police and citizens, are carrying hot weapons and shooting wildly at all moving objects in Gotham. Every time they kill someone, their expressions will show a sickly flush, as if these Gotham what people do casually is not to kill a person, but to hum a cat and get unparalleled pleasure. Yilin drove silently and followed her like a shadow, quietly passing by the crazy crowd. Almost everyone did not notice that this man quietly passing by in a black tuxedo was the Riddle gentleman who caused the earthquake in Gotham City. Old legends, that is to say. 10 minutes later, Yilin looked at the nearly 200-meter-tall building a few kilometers away. Wayne Tower. Although the W sign had been taken off by Yilin, he still recognized the building at a glance. After all, I once blew it up with my own hands. And right now, a dark figure stood silently 100 meters away from Yilin at some unknown moment. It's more like he has been waiting here for Yilin's arrival. The man was actually riding an exaggerated motorcycle. There were a pair of intimidating huge tires on the front and rear of the Batmobile, and the front wings were equipped with machine guns and other heavy firepower equipment. But after a second look, the style is exaggerated and at the same time seems to give people a fierce postmodernist artistic beauty. Batbike. Huh, Batman. Yilin's steps did not stop, and she chuckled, looking at each other from afar with the cold and crazy eyes hidden behind the mask, as if from a distance of 100 meters. Hidden behind the black mask is a pair of eyes filled with monstrous rage. Boom. The motorcycle exhaust pipe suddenly made a high-pitched sound. In the blink of an eye, that Batman accelerated his car to the maximum speed and sped straight towards Yilin. It's just like Black Lightning tears apart Gotham. Rumble. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Shueshi. Chapter 124. In a second, Yilin came up with 3 solutions. Plan A, just hide. Plan B, chant a mantra. Plan C, show a trump card. Among them, if Plan C is subdivided, it can be further divided into C1 C4. At least. In the blink of an eye, time was too hasty and Yilin had no time to make any more plans. If it were the real Bruce Wayne, Yilin might not have enough time to think about how to deal with the situation at hand. The premise is this the real Bruce Wayne? In the blink of an eye, the dark bat motorcycle swept over with a terrifying sound. Yilin didn't hesitate anymore and decisively turned on run fast and follow like a shadow. In the eyes of Batman, the hateful riddle gentleman disappeared in the blink of an eye. Derivative applications that follow you like a shadow. Shadows leave traces. Now like a shadow has been easily upgraded to max by Yilin. This is no longer the same as when derivative applications were first developed. When the sense of presence is reduced by 100%, even if Yilin uses skills face to face, even if Yilin cannot unscientifically disappear from the opponent's eyes, he can still make his sense of existence blur in the opponent's perception for a moment. Not to mention in such high-speed relative motion. Batman and Riddle Gentleman passed by each other. In his retina, for a moment, less than a second, he could not capture the figure of Riddle Gentleman. The night in Gotham is too dark. The Riddle Gentleman's clothes are too dark. Moreover, Batman is not used to the narrow vision after wearing a mask. All kinds of conditions led to Batman turning the front of the car slightly and passing by Yilin. But after the accident, Batman recovered in the shortest time. As he gritted his teeth, an uncontrollable madness appeared in his eyes. Death, death, death. Batman suddenly took out a weird-shaped pistol from his waist. What is loaded inside is a special armor-piercing bullet. Even if it's a tank's armor, even if it can't be penetrated by one shot, it can still create a hole. No matter how amazing the riddles of the Riddle Gentleman are, no matter how magical the Riddle Gentleman's methods are, Batman believes that no one can block armor-piercing bullets with his body. The Riddle Gentleman must die. Otherwise, I'm sorry to the vast number of Gotham citizens. Let the world feel pain from now on. Doin'. He suddenly disappeared. It was pitch black before my eyes. Tisk, it's just blinding. Suddenly a dissatisfied voice came from Batman's ear. He suddenly felt something sting him on the side of his neck. No, that's a knife. Let the world feel pain from now on. Batman didn't have time to regain his sight. The Riddle Gentleman's incomprehensible words came to my ears again. And again, here we go again. The next second, there was a loud bang in Batman's head, and he could no longer open his eyes. From now on. Get chaos value add 20. The chaotic value acquisition prompt sounded like mosquito legs, and Yilin finally stopped stirring the dagger crazily in Batman's mouth. Under the mask, the mouth was covered in blood and flesh, and something red and white spewed out of the mouth. I didn't expect this batsuit to be so hard. Does it have damage reduction properties? If you didn't want to use killing skills to destroy this piece of equipment, maybe it wouldn't be so laborious. Yulin struggled to pull the batsuit off of Batman. Behind the mask, a face that was quite familiar to Yulin was revealed. It's really you. Behind the mask, it's not Bruce Wayne at all. But James Gordon Jr. Therefore, there is no point reward for killing the fake Batman except for a small chaos value reward. Because, James Gordon Jr. does not belong to the legends of the past at all. Yulin had already recognized through that look that the man wearing the batsuit was not Bruce Wayne at all. He once drank and had a good time with Bruce Wayne. Yulin was sure that Bruce Wayne would never look at her with such hatred. Even if Yulin committed a heinous crime in Gotham City. All the old Bruce Wayne cares about is the answer to that puzzle. The look on young James Gordon's face before he died, is difficult to describe. Yulin took one look and felt quite frustrated. Poor sheriff. Yulin thought about it and wondered if it was because of his declining charm value that he was getting more and more skilled at raising his hatred value. Basically, if you make a little difference, you will be hated by the characters in the trial until they die. Just like Nai Hungzio in Gawu Mountain. And Gotham's James Gordon Jr. Yulin was actually helpless. This Apocalypse Night template seems to be such a ghostly setting. Yulin silently touched the body of little James Gordon. Killing people and touching corpses without leaving names. Good habits. Batsuit modified. Level epic. Restrictions male, suitable body shape, charm value greater than 5.0. Durability 2764/3000. Effect strength add 30%, agility add 30%. Night travel, slow descent, blunt weapon damage absorption, sharp weapon damage reduction. Explanation: are you unsure about whether you can cosplay Batman? Wear it and you will be the most mysterious person at night. After reading the batsuit modification in his hand, Yulin instantly felt like he was offended by some kind of malice in this world. And slowly typed a question mark. Must the charm value be greater than 5.0 to equip it? Who do you look down on? The reason why it is epic is because the existence of this piece of equipment represents a piece of history. Nature has a unique personal color. Just like the question mark scepter in Yulin's hand, or the batsuit change in front of her. Or there are strict equipment restrictions. Or have complex usage methods. Of course, there are also types that are relaxed, mindless, simple and enjoyable. There are no absolutes in this world. Yulin had heard about a more ridiculous equipment restriction in the circle before. Someone once obtained a cursed piece of equipment that could curse everyone named Zhang-san to death face to face. However, when the properties of this piece of equipment were leaked, there has never been any apostle named Zhang-san since then. Etc. Yulin suddenly took out another piece of epic equipment. Compare it carefully 3 times. Could it be that? Yulin's pupils narrowed, and with a pop, Batsuit Kai turned into a gray card. On the card was a set of dark and mysterious Batsuit, lifelike. He quickly walked to the Batmobile and fished it out without any hesitation. Congratulations on getting the mount card, Bat motorcycle. At the same time. Wayne Tower. Tonight. Bruce Wayne's bed rarely has a girl lying on it. He was alone, sitting in a dark room, drinking red wine alone. He didn't quite remember what year it was. Lafayette, it wasn't expensive anyway. Outside Wayne Tower, there was already madness. Looking down, explosions occurred from time to time, and the firelight of firearms flashed in the night sky. Bruce Wayne is completely silent. He had a vague feeling that Gotham City tonight was far more crazy and disordered than Gotham City 20 years ago. It's like the madness that a virgin who has been suppressed for 20 years bursts out when suddenly faced with dozens of sexy girls. Although this metaphor is a bit inappropriate. But Gotham City at this moment does give Bruce Wayne the sense of déjà vu. Old friend, It turns out that you were wrong. Bruce Wayne sighed softly, raised the red wine glass in his hand, and saluted from a distance in the direction of the mayor's mansion. Not long ago, he had been unable to call James Gordon. That's Bruce Wayne's special communication tool. It cannot be blocked by ordinary means. In other words, something happened to old Gordon. In this crazy Gotham night. Since you're here, why not have a drink? Bruce Wayne suddenly chuckled and turned around. In the corner of the room, at some point, stood a funny clown in a purple suit. He, good evening, my dear Bruce Wayne, retired Batman. Snapped. The red wine glass instantly fell to the expensive carpet. The dark red wine instantly stained the carpet with a large stain. No. How can it be? Bruce Wayne's fingers trembled slightly. Impossible. When he saw the Joker who robbed GBC Broadcasting Company last night, he didn't show such a horrified expression. In fact, there are very few things in this world that can make Bruce Wayne's emotions fluctuate violently. The criminal who plays Joker is very similar to the former Joker in terms of his demeanor, clothing, and tone of voice. But in fact, it's just very similar to, that's all. Bruce was most familiar with Joker. After a little comparison with the madman in his memory, he was sure that the Joker last night was not the real madman. Besides, Bruce Wayne is sure of it. 20 years ago, he shot Joker through the chest with his own hands. Killed Joker with his own hands. At the same time, it also violated the justice he had always adhered to. When Batman has blood on his hands, he is no longer Batman. No longer worthy of delivering justice in the dark. Because, the moment he killed Joker with his own hands, he was no different from the criminals he punished. Therefore, there were rumors that Batman and the Joker died together 20 years ago. Because this is the official information he asked old Gordon to release. From that night on, Batman imprisoned all criminals in Arkham Asylum and completely disappeared from Gotham. Never appeared again. Anyway, the Joker is dead. He affirmed. But the clown in a purple suit in front of him raised his head and let out a weird laugh, but Bruce was shocked all over. Whether it is his reason or every cell in his body that is shaking involuntarily, it seems to be telling old Bruce. He is Joker. The real Joker. Impossible. Who are you? Joker is dead. I'm sure of it. Hey, my dear Bruce, why so serious? The clown chuckled. He walked out of the darkness, a strange and sick smile appeared on his face, but his eyes revealed various complex emotions. With 3 parts of amazement, 3 parts of happiness, 3 parts of regret, and 1 part of irrepressible madness. All kinds of complicated emotions appeared on a distorted face covered in paint. Even Bruce Wayne, the former Batman, couldn't see through those eyes and see through the Joker's inner world. Bruce Wayne took a deep breath. Soon, he calmed himself down. He has seen superheroes active in other cities before. Such as running very fast. Another example is running out of the Amazon jungle. Some even floated from the bottom of the sea. This world is not normal. After experiencing a brief shock, Bruce Wayne's face suddenly darkened. As far as I know, Joker died on that day 20 years ago. I burned his body with my own hands. Who are you? Guess what? Bruce, we are old friends. Suddenly, Joker put on another kind smile and another calm tone, and smiled slightly. Sir Bruce, who am I? This kind smile, combined with the funny and weird clown paint on his face, is incomparably weird. Jake Kretz. Bruce Wayne's pupils shrank suddenly. Krez, Jack crazy. Joker crazy, crazy clown. Bingo, that's the right answer. GGGG, congratulations to my wise Lord Bruce Wayne for solving the great Joker's riddle. Next, is to present the award to my dear Bruce. When Joker moved with great speed. When Bruce Wayne reacted, Joker held a syringe in his hand and stabbed Bruce Wayne's neck hard. In the blink of an eye, the green liquid in the syringe was gurgling into Bruce Wayne's body. Bruce Wayne suddenly squatted on the ground. His whole body was shaking violently. That white hair turned golden again at a speed visible to the naked eye. The slightly dry body, driven by the drug, became plump again within a few seconds. Under the loose bathrobe, streamlined muscles were revealed. The seemingly tempered body was full of explosive power. Bruce Wayne seemed to feel that the power that had been lost for many years was pouring out of his body endlessly, as if that power had no end. Peak. No. This power is far more terrifying than his peak state. Snap, snap, snap. Bruce Wayne slowly stood up, his back straight, and the moment he raised his sharp eyes to stare at Joker, they were like two unsheathed rays of light, filling the surroundings with a chilling atmosphere. Click click click. Bruce Wayne clenched his fists. Shake his legs again. This feeling is extremely wonderful. This is the body of youth. 5. No, I'm going to hit 10. No. 20. Bruce Wayne almost roared with excitement. But he is Bruce Wayne after all, the one who was once feared by all the forces in Gotham. Fighting skills, firearms, willpower, and endurance can all be regarded as beings that have reached the pinnacle of humankind. He used the shortest time to suppress the ecstasy in his heart. He did not forget that there was a person standing in the room who could be called his lifelong enemy. Why? Because, love. Joker suddenly laughed wildly, flipped his palm, and a sharp dagger slipped from the cuff of his suit. He was like a ghost, and he rushed in front of Bruce Wayne in an instant. But Bruce Wayne's current state is no longer comparable to what he was a few minutes ago. It is no exaggeration to say that he feels that he is even stronger than the Batman of the past, with more durable physical strength and stronger strength. This feeling is like being reborn. But he couldn't figure out why Joker would do this to him. He couldn't figure it out. That night, he clearly killed Joker with his own hands, so who was the Joker in front of him? What he also couldn't figure out was what kind of drug Joker injected himself with, which could actually make him regain his youth when he was old. All of this is a mystery that cannot be solved for a while. Bruce Wayne didn't have time to think too much. Because, at this moment, the clown was already wrestling with him. The entire Gotham City believes that Joker could become the former King of Darkness due to his crazy will and weird criminal methods. But Bruce Wayne knows better. The real Joker is also a master of fighting skills. A monster who can rival him in wisdom and strength. And he is a crazy and unscrupulous monster. But gradually, it was Bruce Wayne who gained the upper hand. Joker became slower and slower, and many of Bruce Wayne's heavy fists fell on Joker. Click. Suddenly, something doesn't feel right about Bruce Wayne. His punch not long ago clearly broke Joker's ribs. But Joker just laughed wildly and vomited a mouthful of blood, then got up again vigorously, seemingly unaffected at all. Joker suddenly smiled and pointed at Bruce Wayne's arm. Bruce Wayne looked down. There was a wound there. The wound was made by Joker's dagger at some point. This kind of injury. He was about to say that the injury was not painful at all. But the next moment, his pupils shrank sharply and his mouth opened wide in shock. Injury, the wound is healing quickly. Surprise. Joker suddenly laughed wildly, and when Bruce Wayne was horrified, and when this man with an iron will relaxed for a moment, he suddenly appeared in front of Bruce Wayne and opened his arms. So close. Bruce Wayne can even clearly distinguish the wrinkles on Joker's face caused by the inferior makeup. I came to this Gotham, it's been a long time, he. Your father, Thomas Wayne. Your mother, Martha Wayne, hey, with all due respect, she was really beautiful. Your wife, Catwoman, Selina Kyle, hey, she's really hot. Your old butler, it seems, his name is Alfred. Actually, their deaths were all planned by me. J-j-j-j. Joker chuckled. The dagger in his hand actually slashed towards his chest. Cut little by little along the texture of the skin. Behind the texture are the pale ribs. Joker suddenly exerted force. He threw the dagger aside. Along the 2 rows of ribs, forcefully open your chest. There. Has a bright red heart. Plop, plop, plop. Joker raised his head, his smile still on his face. Look, Bruce, hey, I do this because of love. Boom. In an instant, a bolt from the blue flashed through Bruce Wayne's mind. He had already felt that the deaths of those around him were unusual. It seems that there is a black hand behind the scenes, controlling everything. However, even Bruce Wayne couldn't find out the real reason for all this. It's a coincidence, it's really just like a coincidence. He suddenly realized that Jack Kretz had been hanging around Bruce Wayne as an old friend of his father and a kind doctor many years ago. No flaws. He Joker suddenly smiled coldly and lowered his voice. My dear Bruce, GG, let me tell you a little secret. The person you killed was Joker, and hey, I am also Joker, but it was the other Joker dash. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Shueshi. Chapter 125. Boom. In the dark night, Yilin happened to arrive downstairs at Wayne Tower. It's eerily quiet here. Lonely and deserted. Somewhat weird. Just when he was thinking about what method to use, he quietly went up to kill one of the legends of the past, Bruce Wayne. On the top floor of Wayne Tower, there was a sudden sound of shattering glass and a huge bombardment. Yilin raised her head. In the dark night, the glass on the entire floor shattered at the same time, turning into countless glass shards that reflected the glimmer of light and shone brightly at night. But that's not the point. Yilin's pupils shrank slightly. Looking as far as the eye could see, there were 2 figures of similar stature, entangled and wrestling crazily in mid-air, as if they carried a kind of hatred for all eternity, and they also looked like 2 inseparable lovers. In short, at first glance, it makes people feel that the 2 figures are really obsessed with each other. J-j-j. Bruce, this is love. Love. Bruce Wayne and Joker actually jumped from the top floor of Wayne Tower. With flesh and blood. That Joker. Yilin hardly spent any time thinking. After all, it didn't require much thinking. Yilin immediately activated following like a shadow, hid in the shadows, and immediately released by Xiaoi to expand her field of vision. As mentioned before, the sight of a spirit is different from the way humans use light to create images on the retina. In the dark, it is undoubtedly the sight of a spirit that sees things more clearly. Yilin, who was hiding in the dark, quickly used by Xiaoi's vision to roughly distinguish the 2 people fighting madly in the air. It's Bruce Wayne and Joker. Bruce Wayne has now regained his youth from his old posture, and has grown a head of golden hair again. Pangenji? No dash. The 2 people struggling together did not directly complete the standard free-fall motion in the air, but used the power of their bodies to strangle crazily between the floors. Looking from the perspective of Bai Xiaoi, Yilin couldn't tell who had the upper hand. He could only see that there was blood and flesh flying between the 2, but the injured area quickly squirmed again. With flesh and blood, it began to repair itself. Bang 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 bang. There are traces of a winding fight left in Wayne Tower from the top floor all the way down. Glass shattered, steel bars twisted, walls shattered. This is simply not a fight that humans can accomplish. To be precise, these 2 bosses are not human. How can a normal human be able to jump off a building and fight at the same time? Bruce Wayne even risked everything and inserted his bare hands into the wall. Under the momentum of the fall, the hand used to slow down was polished off in the blink of an eye, leaving only an arm bone stained with a little flesh residue. Bruce Wayne seemed to feel no pain. He used one hand to cushion the exterior wall and glass of Wayne Tower, and the other hand punched Joker crazily one after another. Joker also seemed to be unable to feel pain, or in other words, the more pain he felt, the more excited he became, and his expression became more crazy and perverted. Joker hugged Bruce Wayne tightly, vomiting blood from his mouth, and the paint on his face was already a mess, making it even more hideous. Ha 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 ha, kill, kill, kill. Kill me. My dear Bruce Wayne. Kill your lifelong enemy, kill me, Joker dash. Boom. I don't know how much time passed. The two big guys finally landed hard on the ground. Two human-shaped pits were instantly smashed into the ground. A large cloud of dust was thrown up. Yulin's location is still dozens of meters away from Wayne Tower. At this distance, one can vaguely see what is happening without the help of spiritual vision. Until the dust settles, of course. Smoke brings no harm, this is the law. This is a trial world. Yulin would not be so naive as to believe that Joker and Bruce Wayne would fall from high altitude for no reason, leaving behind two corpses waiting for Yulin to happily touch. Suddenly, after a moment of silence in the dust, a twisted figure suddenly rushed towards another humanoid pit, and let out waves of low roars like wild beasts. Ja. Ahem. Phew. I don't know how much time passed. It seemed like seconds. It seemed like minutes again. Of course, this was just because the fight between the two was too fierce, which gave Yulin this sensory illusion. To be precise, after landing, Joker and Bruce Wayne's figures overlapped up, down, left, right, and left for another 48 seconds. Suddenly, plop. Everything was silent. Joker suddenly stopped his crazy laughter. When Yulin's vision returned again and the smoke and dust caused by the fight between the two had completely settled, this scene appeared in front of Yulin's eyes. Bruce Wayne is left in just a pair of underpants. Joker's funny purple tight-fitting suit is also full of holes, giving it a sense of déjà vu. All in all, the scene was very tragic. And Bruce Wayne's strong right arm actually penetrated completely through Joker's chest. And Bruce's expression was completely frozen. That sharp-edged face revealed 3 parts of hatred, 3 parts of annoyance, 3 parts of confusion, and still another part of madness that had not completely faded away. As for Joker, who was strung up in Bruce Wayne's hand, the paint on his face had already been worn away by 7 or 8 points in the crazy struggle. Coupled with the rapid healing of the skin, it finally made Yulin clear. I saw the true face of this Joker. On Joker's face, there was an extremely satisfied smile that was frozen forever. Etc. When Yulin saw Joker's distorted face with an inexplicable contentment, she found it looked familiar. After a moment, Yulin's pupils shrank suddenly. Jack. Joker. Right now. Bruce Wayne after killing the Joker. The whole person suddenly squatted on the spot in pain. A strange black color gradually appeared on the naked skin, and swollen ridges were like worms, crawling crazily under the skin covered with sweat and dust. Ah 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 ah. Bruce Wayne screamed to the sky. Hiss. In an instant, a terrifying momentum spread to all directions, centered on Bruce Wayne. The dead Jack, another Joker, shriveled up quickly in a strange way at the same time that Bruce Wayne underwent a mutation. In the blink of an eye, Joker went from being young again to growing old quickly, and then, within a few breaths, the flesh and blood on his body completely withered and turned into a white skeleton. A few more seconds passed. Even the white bones were decaying rapidly. Bruce Wayne clutched his head in pain. Plop, plop, plop. Yulin actually heard Bruce Wayne's heartbeat like a drum from about 50 meters away. Dull, powerful, crazy. Dong 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 dong. Wrong. Yulin suddenly woke up. It wasn't that he heard Bruce Wayne's heartbeat. But, through another strange way, Yulin felt Bruce Wayne's heartbeat. Bruce Wayne was covered in flesh and blood, and with the wriggling skin, it expanded rapidly like a balloon. But that kind of expansion is not like the loose and soft expansion of a balloon. The bulging muscles are more developed, sticking to the body piece by piece, as if they are made of steel. Under the meager moonlight, the parts that should be human muscles actually glowed with a weird metallic light. After about 1 minute, the crazy muscle twitching on Bruce Wayne's body finally subsided completely. He suddenly raised his head. They were a pair of eyes as scarlet as blood. Jajaja. As well as a laugh as crazy as Joker. In the blink of an eye, Bruce Wayne disappeared without even looking at Yulin, who was hiding in the darkness. It's so fast that it catches people off guard. In the dark, Yulin lowered her head. He held Blood Jasmine tightly in his hand. In fact, when he saw the identity of this Joker, he had already figured out a lot of doubts about this trial in a short period of time. But at the same time, more doubts were born. This trial is a little weird. Even as a veteran, he found it weird, which shows how weird this is. Whether it's the beginning or every main mission, all of them gave Yulin an illusion. It's like that Will is trying to correct some kind of mistake. It was just a vague feeling. For a while, Yulin couldn't figure out what was going on. But no matter what, this trial always gave him a strange sense of disobedience. It felt like this trial shouldn't have gone like this. Jack. Joker. Bruce Wayne. Just now, when Bruce Wayne had a strange change, Yulin had the idea of killing him secretly. But after carefully weighing the pros and cons and making a certain plan, Yulin ultimately did not take action. There is no other reason, it is not cost-effective. But whether you take action or not, there are certain risks. So, it's okay to be a little more cautious. Yulin silently put away the Blood Jasmine. Take your mind off the weirdness of this trial mission for a moment. Next, hee. Yulin chuckled. I took a look at the Gotham Rising Stars list. On the list, the rankings of other people have also changed. Yulin thought for a moment. He decided to send a message to classmate Li Erpang, who had a relatively friendly relationship with him. Yulin, are you busy? Li Erpang, hee, busy fighting the boss. Yulin, are you finished? Li Erpang, don't think about it this time. Fatty tells you, there is no chance for you to appear this time. Damn it! Are you still dancing for me? I'll beat you up. Yulin, I just want to ask one thing, what would happen if Batman killed Joker? Li Erpang, Batman killed Joker? Hey, wait, that's impossible. Batman's most charming character is that he doesn't kill anyone, even the most vicious criminals. Unless, I can't help it. Yulin, what if I kill him? Li Erpang, what if I really can't hold it back? Even if there really is, what a fart. In this copy, Joker is already dead. If Joker is still alive, Fatty, how can it be so easy for us to kill the boss now? Ouch, why did Harley get up again? Yulin saw that Li Erpang was indeed a little busy. In fact, after seeing Jack regain his youth, Yulin could roughly guess what the situation would be like on Li Erpang's side. Just when Yulin silently took out the Batmobile, Li Erpang suddenly seemed to remember something. The death mark on Yulin's chest shook slightly. I received another message from Li Erpang. Li Erpang, damn it! Wait, have you discovered some hidden plot again? Don't trick me again. I haven't settled the score with you before in the second main quest. Yulin. Li Erpang, but when you said this, I also remembered that it seems that there is indeed such a branch of the parallel universe in the plot outside the game, that is, in the original comics. In that branch plot, Joker always felt that Batman had the same dark past as him and should not be like this. So in that parallel universe, Joker developed something. Yulin? Li Erpang, it seems to be called Factor. I can't remember the comic because it's so old. He also has the laughing virus buried in his body. After he stimulated Bruce Wayne to kill himself, Bruce Wayne transformed. It turned into another super boss, the laughing bat. By the way, is this thing haha, you ask? Is it related to this plot? Yulin, let me give you a friendly reminder. Li Erpang? Yulin, there is a bit of a tricky boss. If I guess correctly, it should be running towards you. Li Erpang, disdainfully, that's it? With our double tank combination, what kind of boss wouldn't come and kill one of the other, then come and kill again, until the sky is dark and the earth is dark? What the hell? Boom. Just as Li Erpang was paddling secretly and chatting happily with Yulin, a huge but swift black shadow suddenly fell from the sky. Without any warning, he fell in front of Li Erpang, Zhu Yun'er, and Suzayasu. The moment the figure appeared, including Yulin, several lines of Scarlet mission prompts were displayed in front of my eyes at the same time. The screen was scrolling crazily. Warn. 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 Unknown variable found. The difficulty of the trial has been corrected to nightmare level. Complete the death point settlement, difficulty bonus add 40%. The main mission is being revised. Correcting. Correction completed. Main mission 3 released, completely destroy the pseudo-laughing bat within the limited time. After the mission is completed, return to the real world. Mission failed, all wiped out. Li Erpang. Zhu Yun'er. Suzayasu. Li Erpang had no time to paddle and chatted with Yulin. Because when he hurriedly read the task prompt, he was already confused. In my mind, it was as if a group of horses with grass on their heads and mud on their bodies suddenly appeared and ran away with a loud splash. Ah, under the sunset, that is his lost youth. Pooh. Li Erpang was so excited that he put aside the messy thoughts in his mind. The laughing bat? Why is it the legendary laughing bat? Wait, this style of painting is obviously wrong. But Li Erpang suddenly remembered again. Since entering this trial, whether it is Arkham Nursing Home or the weird Gotham City, the style of painting has never been close to the style of painting in memory. The whole style of Gotham City seems to have gone crazy, completely out of whack. Be careful, Suzayasu said softly without looking back. Her tight clothes were already riddled with holes, but nothing was exposed that shouldn't be seen. In the fights with other old legends, Suzayasu had been blocking others with her body of steel. Although she was injured a lot, due to her ability to heal quickly, she was fine so far. Now, a tall, slightly bent figure stood in front of them. Opposite them is a group of old villains headed by Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn and others didn't know what medicine they took. Not only did she regain her youthful beauty, but she also gained the extremely difficult ability to heal herself. Suzayasu, Li Erpang, and Zhu Yun'er jointly managed to kill Penguin and Two-Face. As for who gets the points in the end, it doesn't matter anymore. Because they all discovered one thing at the same time. When Main Mission 3 was inexplicably corrected, the Gotham Rising Stars list could no longer be opened. In other words, their only mission now. It is to completely eliminate the strange figure in front of you within the limited time. Pseudo-laughing bat? Bruce Wayne. When the red-eyed Bruce Wayne fell from the sky, everyone in the chaos fell into an eerie silence. At this time, Harley Quinn finally recognized the person in front of her. She frowned, and the charming smile that had been hanging on her face suddenly solidified. Ja. Bruce Wayne suddenly grinned. Those 2 rows of teeth turned out to be as sharp as nails. There was still a little fresh blood and flesh on the sharp teeth. I don't know whose flesh and blood it is. Red eyes, sharp teeth, crazy smile, and a body that seems to contain explosive power. No one can connect this strange existence in front of them with the polite, elegant, and suave Bruce Wayne. But Harley Quinn had seen the richest man in Gotham when he was young, so she vaguely recognized that this was indeed Bruce Wayne. Just this smile. Harley Quinn felt vaguely familiar. But it was too long ago, and she would temporarily. Suddenly, Harley Quinn's eyes were dazzled. A pain in my chest. Severe pain. Her eyes suddenly widened. Harley Quinn just blinked. Bruce Wayne's tall body has already appeared in front of Harley Quinn. This speed is incredibly fast. Why so serious? Ah. A crazy smile almost plastered on Harley Quinn's face. As he opened his mouth, Bruce Wayne sprayed a stream of fishy wind into her face. Laugh. Bruce Wayne has 5 fingers like hooks. Suddenly, Harley Quinn fell slowly. A green mist emitted from every pore in her body, and was quickly inhaled by Bruce Wayne. By the way, it's Joker. Before Harley Quinn died, a flash of realization flashed in her eyes and she slowly fell. After the green mist dissipated, Harley Quinn's fair skin shriveled up and aged at a terrifying speed. In the blink of an eye, Harley Quinn's alluring body turned into a pale skeleton. Snapped. GG. Bruce Wayne crushes Harley Quinn's frame with one kick. Behind Bruce Wayne, Li Erpang, Zhu Yun'er and Suzayasu all felt numbness in their scalps from head to bottom. What kind of monster is this? Suddenly, Bruce Wayne doesn't seem to have enough to eat. He looked up again. The red eyes, with the light of madness and bloodthirsty, looked particularly evil in the dark night. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Shueshi. Chapter 126. Do it. Suddenly, Zhu Yun'er shouted loudly, waking up the numb Li Erpang. Although I don't know why. The main quest 3, which was originally a good and enjoyable way to defeat the boss, will be changed into the weird situation it is now. However, there are 2 points that are concerning in the description of main task 3. They were not rookies either, so they quickly noticed these 2 not-so-secret hints. Time limit. Fake. This is very clear. This main task 3 has a time limit. Except for killing the crazy monster in front of them, everyone will die when the time limit is up. The second is, the pseudo-laughing bat. What does pseudo mean? It's a Zibe product. He's eating, most likely waiting for him to finish. We all have to finish playing. Zhu Yun'er was the quickest to react. She silently glanced at the skull buff countdown in the upper right corner. When she witnessed Harley Quinn aging again and turning into white bones and being crushed by the monster, she also understood a lot of facts. The fact that several of them can regain their youth from aging. She had only vaguely guessed before. Not long ago, Zhu Yun'er tapped from the side to see how much time was left on the countdown in the upper right corner of Suzayasu. After learning the answer, Zhu Yun'er compared it with her own countdown. The conclusion is, her remaining time is shorter than Suzayasu's. Combined with the way Harley Quinn died, it was not difficult for Zhu Yun'er to come to a conclusion. Youth potion is not a good thing at all. That is the rejuvenation obtained by overdrawing the remaining lifespan. And the ability to heal quickly. The more injured you are, the more the healing effect is triggered, and the shorter the remaining time is. In other words, the remaining time of the skull icon on the Apostles panel is clearly their lifespan in this trial mission. Etc. I remember there was a sentence mentioned at the end of the youth potion properties. Because the purification process is not sophisticated enough, it seems to have some unknown side effects. Originally, without being injured, they still had 72 hours left to live after being injected with the youth potion type I. But in this trial, I am constantly injured and healed. Zhu Yun'er's life is running out. This is called limited time. Everyone has different time limits. The length of this time depends on previous performance. The more you swim, the faster you die. The more stubborn you are, the longer you will live. Other legends of the past witnessed Harley Quinn's tragic death. And Penguin and Two-Face have no peace of mind even after death. Everyone's expressions changed. But, after all, they are beings who came out of Arkham nursing home. People who come out of that place are never too normal. Whether it's the past, the present, or the future. Kill. Gotham's former villains rushed towards Bliss Wayne. Countless vines swept across. Covered in fear gas. Bane's fist. The villains of the past show off their special abilities. Jaja. The laughing bat grinned, and his eyes became even more crazy. He spat out a lump of minced meat. The figure moved. It actually left countless after images in place. In the blink of an eye, Poison Ivy's vines all around were torn apart with her bare hands. Those hands were like sharp claws, and the poisonous vines were unable to leave even a trace on the laughing bat's body. Or maybe the laughing bat healed too fast, and the traces were instantly repaired before they even had time to show up. Just a face-to-face. Poison Ivy, die. Scarecrow, die. Double kill. A green mist surged out of the two villains again, and was absorbed by the crazy Bruce Wayne. In the blink of an eye, the two villains who once dominated Gotham ended up like Harley Quinn, turning into an emaciated skeleton and being crushed by Bruce Wayne, the laughing bat. I needed it twice. The green mist is the key point, not necessarily eating dash. Li Erpang trembled, without hesitation, and rubbed his palms, which turned out to be slightly golden. Kill. Li Erpang takes action. Li Erpang knows the best about the strength positioning of villains in Batman's worldview. If it weren't for Batman's not killing attribute, most of the villains who wreaked havoc on Gotham with their intelligence would have been killed by Batman long ago. The kind without panting. As we all know, Bruce Wayne is a master of fighting and weapons at his peak, and he possesses a tenacity far beyond that of ordinary people. If Batman were not given a no-killing setting, most villains would not be able to fight under Bruce Wayne. And has a set of combination punches in his hands. Therefore, it is not difficult to understand that the crazy Bruce Wayne can easily kill these villains. What's more, Bruce Wayne now has the strange ability to heal quickly. If we use the Apostle slang to describe it, this is basically a super boss with double strength and sensitivity, high resistance, random hatred, and maximum health recovery speed. Although the super boss, the laughing bat, doesn't seem to be in full condition yet. This humming isn't complete yet. When he finishes this round, won't he be spiraling into heaven? Zuyuner raised the ancient sword. In an instant, behind Zuyuner, the shadow of a yellow-robed emperor suddenly appeared. The phantom of the emperor was dressed in a dragon robe, with a sharp and solemn expression hidden in his brows. His eyelids were slightly raised, which made other people unable to help but feel a sense of worship. Behind Zuyuner, an emperor actually appeared. As if he were a real emperor. Zhu family. Li Erpang's pupils shrank sharply. As everyone knows, the last imperial dynasty of the Dragon Kingdom, surnamed Zhu. Really? This Zuyuner is the queen of the emperor. That Zhu family. However, the shadow of the emperor behind Zuyuner only appeared for a few seconds before integrating into Zuyuner's body again. When the emperor's shadow merged with Zuyuner's proud body, Zuyuner stepped forward, and the simple long sword in her hand suddenly bloomed with a bright light in the night sky. Sword radiance. Skyrocketing. Around the ancient long sword, sword aura suddenly appeared. The sword energy was 2 meters long. Zuyuner flew up and swung the long sword like a laser sword. She moved her hands and feet with the sharpness and decisiveness to cut off everything. Laugh. Zuyuner was like an empress patrolling in the dark night. The sword light swept across, forcing the laughing bat to turn back and tear away at the sharp sword light with one claw. Blood spurts out. A severed hand flew out. Zuyuner actually chopped off the arm of the laughing bat. There's a show. When Li Erpang saw this, he didn't hold on any longer. He looked at Suzayasu and directly put his two tanks together and charged towards the laughing bat. Suzayasu's fist and Li Erpang's palm, one was like a giant hammer and the other was like a cattail leaf fan, making a snapping sound. Wherever the fists and slaps landed, the body of the laughing bat was directly dented. But there was no expression of pain on that crazy face. Still crazy. Still bloodthirsty. The arm that was cut off by Zuyuner, the broken end, during the fight, the flesh and blood squirmed and quickly rebuilt into the shape of the arm. A broken arm is reborn. Is this still a human being? When Li Erpang saw this scene, he turned pale with fright. The recovery speed of this boss. So fast. Unscientific. Is this a nightmare-level trial? Are we going to use that trick? The fat man gritted his teeth. Right now. Although the laughing bat was surrounded by the three new villains Zuyuner, Li Erpang, and Suzayasu, he seemed not very interested in the three apostles and concentrated on chasing down Gotham's old-era villains. It's like, those old antiques taste more fragrant, sweeter, and crunchier. Mad Hatter, die. Killer Croc, dead. Die, die, die. The speed and power of the laughing bat are far beyond the imagination of Li Erpang and others. It seems that all the attacks that fall on the laughing bat are not painful or itchy, even if it is a punch, it will hit a hole. In the blink of an eye, he was back to his original state. This is still the fake laughing bat. It doesn't take a moment. Under the crazy slaughter of the laughing bat, the old villains all became the nutrients for the evolution of the laughing bat. Turned into white bones. Bones crushed by a foot. Finally. Among the old villains of Gotham. Among the villains from Arkham Nursing Home. Only one person wearing a pig head mask was left, shivering in place. He was afraid. Even if he is crazy. But in the face of beings that are crazier and crazier than him, even lunatics who are not treated in time will sometimes be afraid. Only one left. Zuyuner's pupils shrank suddenly. She could not imagine what terrible things would happen if the laughing bat were to kill all the old villains. At this moment, Suzayasu's tall body suddenly stood in front of the laughing bat. To be precise, it is between the laughing bat and the pig face. What makes people find it extremely ridiculous is that not long ago, the boss they were working tirelessly to harvest has now turned into a little sheep to protect in the blink of an eye. GG. This is to block that monster? Li Erpang's eyelids twitched suddenly. Suzayasu's face was expressionless. Silently. There was a flash of light beneath her feet. Those two legs, which were like iron towers, actually sank. Plunged deep into the ground. The difference between the power side route and the spiritual side route is that the power side route apostles do not have very affordable spiritual energy values like the spiritual side apostles, nor do they have the endless skill variety of the spiritual side apostles. The only thing the power side apostles can truly rely on is their strong bodies and their indomitable fists. Certainly. The skills are still there. It's impossible not to. Unmoving as a mountain. Boom. The smile on Bruce Wayne's face was even more crazy and perverted. His claws, which were about to tear the pig face apart, didn't hesitate too much when Suzayasu blocked him, and landed directly on Suzayasu. Hiss. Along with it, there is also the terrifying impact brought by the extreme speed. In an instant, Suzayasu's two thick calves made a terrifying bone-crunching sound, and in the blink of an eye, they bent deeply at a strange angle. This is an angle that is completely inconsistent with human joint mobility. In other words, the laughing bat charged and tore apart, taking away a long chunk of Suzayasu's health. At the same time, the two legs that had not moved at all were broken in response. Click, click, click. Suzayasu's legs are broken. But there was no expression on his face. It was as if it was not her leg that was broken abruptly. Moveless as a mountain. This skill is just like its name. No matter under any circumstances, as long as the skill is in the continuous state, she will not displace. Originally, with Suzayasu's physique, even if she didn't use this skill, someone could knock her away. Of course there were people, but Suzayasu rarely encountered them. Most of the time, the opponent was directly hammered by Suzayasu before they could get close. What's more, when he saw Suzayasu's figure, he didn't dare to get close at all. But no matter. Suzayasu blocked the laughing bat abruptly. The dual attributes of strength and agility far exceed those of Suzayasu's laughing bat. Good. When Zhu Yuner saw this, she didn't feel sorry for Suzayasu's broken legs. She didn't even frown. She lightly praised Suzayasu in a tone like a superior facing a subordinate. His tone was like that of an emperor, indifferent to everything. Next moment, Zhu Yuner suddenly took out a coin. A very ordinary looking coin. Maybe, no one knows that she brought out a prop from that Arkham nursing home. An epic prop with incredible effects. If it hadn't been for this moment, when no one could hack the laughing bat to death, she wouldn't have planned to take out this item. This is a prop that can turn things around at the most critical moment. She glanced at the remaining time in the upper right corner. 0009:33. Because she had been healed so many times, her lifespan had been exhausted and she had very little left. Less than 10 minutes. She has even used the ability of the spirit-possessed weapon Emperor's Sword. Neither could kill the monster. The reason should be, not enough DPS. That damn fat guy was paddling. Zhu Yuner had no other choice but to desperately use that epic prop. But that's fine, as long as she kills the final boss pseudo-laughing bat, Zhu Yuner's final evaluation will definitely be far ahead of the others. The people of the Zhu family are destined to have the last laugh. Fight to the death. If she cannot kill this terrifying monster, she will only die when the time comes. Before Zhu Yuner entered the trial, she never expected that with her strength and mind, coupled with the assistance of Suzayasu, a vassal of the Zhu family, she would still end up in this situation. She suddenly thought of someone. The guy who stole the spotlight and points in the second main mission, but has yet to be seen. Damn it! Damn it! She didn't know why, but she hated Yilin inexplicably. Although Yilin was not ugly and had good facial features, she always felt that Yilin's face was particularly disgusting and hateful. Two-Faced Coin of Destiny. Level Epic. Effect Decision of Destiny, click to view details. Explanation: good luck and all your wishes will come true. Bad luck? Don't worry, the cheapest thing in Gotham City is a coffin. Remaining times, 1/1. Suzayasu's face was expressionless. Both legs are broken. A deep wound was torn out on his chest by the laughing bat. Deep bones are visible. The well-developed chest muscles seemed so insignificant under the claws of the laughing bat. She gritted her teeth, the muscles in her arms surged, and she desperately grabbed the laughing bat's shoulders with her backhand. His fingers dug deeply into the flesh of the laughing bat. She didn't stop being still as a mountain. Even if her legs are broken, as long as her skills continue and her health is still there, she will never move. Do not move. Like a mountain. Suzayasu let out a low roar. Rumble. Superior. Still not going? This is a problem. Spell. Still not fighting? In fact, this is the same problem as above. Li Erpang waited for a while. He suddenly realized that even if he used that move, he might not be able to kill the laughing bat. Because the strength and speed of the laughing bat are extremely terrifying. Its power far exceeds that of Brother Su, and its speed is so fast that it is difficult for the eyes to catch it. Although the strength side route and the agility side route seem to be two different paths. But in fact, the two just have different focuses and will not go too far in one subject or another. Otherwise, either you won't be able to catch up, or it won't hurt to hit you. In short, it will be a painful situation. Li Erpang belongs to the type who is serious about science. Extremely serious. Despite his seemingly flexible movements. But in fact, his agility attributes are hard to describe in one word. There is no way to catch up with the terrifying speed of the laughing bat. Rumble. Come again. The roar of a locomotive seemed to be heard in the distance. Hee hee. You may be hallucinating. How could someone race a car in a ghost place like this? Rumble. Damn it. It's really a motorcycle. Even if you know it, you can't be distracted at this critical moment. But Li Erpang still couldn't help it and raised his head. The roar of the engine, like the roar of a beast, came from above. If it were somewhere else, Li Erpang might not have time to care at all. But it's so high above the head. The top of your head. Can this motorcycle fly? A ferocious-looking motorcycle spewed cyan flames from behind, like a black meteor, quickly leaping over Li Erpang's head. Suddenly, the laughing bat turned its head. Laughing like crazy. He actually looked at Zhu Yuner, who was holding the coin in her hand. It's just like. It recognizes that coin. Hey hey hey. The laughing bat suddenly let out a weird scream. Immediately afterwards, the laughing bat slammed its head into Suzayasu's chest. Puff. Click click click. Suzayasu's chest ribs were all broken. She opened her mouth and spit out a mouthful of blood. At the moment of being severely injured, Suzayasu's 10 fingers that tightly held the laughing bat's shoulders loosened involuntarily and fell back. Suzayasu, die. No one has time to care about Suzayasu's life and death. From the time Suzayasu activated her skills until Suzayasu fell down, it seemed that many changes had happened, but in fact, they all happened almost in the blink of an eye. Zhu Yuner's face was expressionless. Ding. The coin of Two-Face's destiny made a crisp sound between Zhu Yuner's fingers, spinning and throwing it high. Zhu Yuner is very confident in her luck. Otherwise, you will not be able to obtain the enchanted weapon, the Imperial Sword. She seemed to be the darling of luck. Today. No exception. The coin of fate is tossed high. The laughing bat had shaken off Suzayasu's entanglement, bringing out after images behind him, like ghosts, and instantly arrived in front of Zhu Yuner. At this moment, Zhu Yuner seemed to hear it, and there was a strange sound above her head. Rumble. Let the world feel pain from now on. Zhu Yuner. Li Erpang. Suzayasu. Laughing bat. Duan. No one noticed that the coin, which was originally hovering in the air, inexplicably flew to other places at its highest point. A black motorcycle flew over Zhu Yuner, Li Erpang, Laughing Bat, and Suzayasu one by one. Caught up dash. Yilin smiled slightly. Snapped. Almost at the same time, the motorcycle roared past everyone's heads. But the Laughing Bat also came to Zhu Yuner. No one noticed that Zhu Yuner's eyes were dull, and there was no trace of the original look in her pupils. Snapped. As the laughing bat swept across with a slap, Zhu Yuner's delicate face was completely frozen. Bones. This was the sound of Zhu Yuner's head being thrown 10 meters away. Before her death, Zhu Yuner was still in a dizziness state. It is estimated that even in the next life, he will not be able to figure out why he died. If there is a next life. Dead, dead, dead. Li Erpang was stunned for a moment. This is, quite sudden. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Shueshi. Chapter 127. Without any precautions. No worries at all. Zhu Yuner died suddenly in front of everyone. Even Bruce Wayne, who had lost his mind, paused for a moment when he slapped Zhu Yuner's head off with his paw. It looked at its paws. There was still blood between the fingernails. Zhu Yunar's blood foam. Yulin couldn't care less about the astonishment of Li Erpang and Suzayasu. He drove the Batmobile and jumped over Suzayasu. Poker face. At this moment, no one knew what Yulin was thinking. Form change. One of Gotham's old legends, Pigface, after personally experiencing the terror of the Laughing Bat, became the most unscrupulous old Gotham villain. The second person with no cards is Edward the Riddler. Countless blood threads transformed into strange shapes. The moment Yulin landed, he directly controlled the countless blood threads and swept towards the pig face. Get chaos value. An unsurprising prompt appeared in front of my eyes. Yulin had no time to look. A faint bloody light quietly disappeared into Yulin's body along the blood-colored threads transformed by the blood jasmine. And at the same time, the moment Yulin easily killed Pigface. Also from the mass of minced meat that was once the pig's face, a green mist floated up, like an evil ghost with its bloody mouth, and it rushed towards Yulin in an instant. This time, Yulin had no escape. Let the green mist be absorbed into the body. Purity improved, current purity, 48%. In front of Yulin. Another line of fonts with a particularly short font size was printed out strangely. Yulin silently glanced at the properties of Two-Face's Fate coin. I couldn't help but my eyelids twitched slightly. Those three words good luck made Yulin feel inexplicably frightened. What the hell? Zhu Yunar is dead. Li Erpang finally came back to his senses when he saw Yulin easily kill the last old Gotham villain. He recovered from his stunned state. Snap, snap, snap. Suzayasu gritted her teeth and stood up again. Thanks to her powerful healing ability, her broken bones and wounds on her chest were healing quickly. Flesh and blood reborn. But Yulin accidentally caught a glimpse that as the wound healed quickly, Suzayasu gradually became a bit older, and there were a few strands of snow white in her hair that were difficult to detect at first glance. In this trial, except for Yulin, who was barely injured, almost everyone else had been exposed to bullets and had sex with good Gotham citizens. Therefore, Yulin's remaining lifespan should be the longest. And Yulin silently glanced at the apostle panel. And right now. Toot toot. A strange sound came from far and near the corner of the street. Yulin and Li Erpang subconsciously looked in the direction of the sound. I saw a women's little sheep motorcycle driving towards the side slowly and safely. Li Erpang. Yulin. Suzayasu. Laughing Bat. The man driving the little sheep. It's Pangenji. Etc. Which Pangenji is it? Just when Pangenji was about to arrive on the battlefield. Including Lao Pan, another line of prompts appeared in front of all the surviving apostles. When everyone saw the new task prompt, their expressions changed slightly. The main mission is being revised. Correcting. Correction completed. Main mission 3 released, completely eliminate the fake laughing bat or riddle gentleman within the limited time. After the mission is completed, return to the real world. Mission failed, all wiped out. Yulin took a look at the new version of the main mission 3. No words were spoken. Just silently typed a question mark. Li Erpang's narrowed eyes instantly narrowed even deeper. He was sure that no one in the world could read his eyes. Li Erpang suddenly raised his head. Damn it, why are you hiding so far away? He saw Yulin quickly moving away from the others in just a few seconds, and couldn't help but show a look that made him laugh or cry. What do you think? Yulin chuckled. No explanation. In fact, no explanation is needed. Pangenji got off the car from the little sheep with no expression on his face. When getting off the car, Pangenji's expression showed a deep thought. Presumably he also received the latest version of the main quest 3. Thinking deeply. Who to kill? Is it the riddle gentleman? Or the laughing bat? Bruce Wayne grinned, and the row of sharp fangs reflected a faint light, but they looked particularly penetrating. Jaja. It's you. Bruce Wayne turned to look at Yulin. In an instant, looking at those red eyes, Yulin once again had the illusion of being connected by blood with the laughing bat. It's like there is some kind of connection between the two. Hiss. The tall body of the laughing bat possessed incredible speed. Rows of afterimages flashed behind him and he rushed directly towards Yulin, who was far away from the crowd. Really? Yulin cursed secretly in his mind and directly turned on run fast to increase his slight movement speed. The laughing bat himself is Bruce Wayne at his peak, the Batman of yesteryear. Whether it is fighting ability, strength, or agility, it can be said to be the top existence among humans. If we fight hard in this state, there is no chance of winning. In addition, the weird main mission 3 seems to have put Li Erpang into a dilemma of which boss should I kill. That's right. In Li Erpang's view, although he didn't know why, it was obvious that Yulin was in the same situation as Bruce Wayne and had also become one of the boss in this trial. And it's the kind of boss that can be passed no matter who you kill. If you don't care about morality and are ruthless, choosing Yulin to kill is undoubtedly the most relaxed and enjoyable choice. Old Pen. Pick up that bat. While Yulin struggled to dodge the laughing bat's attack, she instructed Pan Zhenji as fast as she could. Pan Zhenji's eyes were focused, and without any further hesitation, he directly picked up Harley Quinn's weapon. The moment he saw the properties of Harley Quinn's weapon, Pan Zhenji's eyes lit up slightly. The laughing bat moves faster and faster, without any rules at all, and even completely ignores his own safety, only attacking but not defending. Such methods as surrounding Wei to save Zhao, retreating, and being well informed are simply useless to the crazy Bruce Wayne. In vain. Today's Bruce Wayne is simply a killing machine with no emotions. In Li Erpang's words, that's the ultimate boss with high attack, high agility, thick blood, high blood recovery, and random hatred. Yulin has now switched Blood Jasmine back to normal state. Maintaining the bloodshot form change for a long time will undoubtedly consume a huge amount of spiritual energy. Pan Zhenji soon joined the battle group carrying a metal baseball bat. Together with Yulin, they took advantage of the chaos and hit the laughing bat with sticks. It seems like there are no moves at all. But the strange thing is that each of Pan Zhenji's sticks can actually block the root of the laughing bat. Every time the laughing bat stretches out its sinful claws towards Yulin's position, it is changed by Pan Zhenji's stick. Direction, the handwriting instantly bent to another angle. After Pan Zhenji joined, Yulin was able to match Pan Zhenji and block the laughing bat for 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds. Yulin's body has been left with numerous claw marks. At the same time, the wounds on the body are also healing quickly under the action of certain components in the body. On the Apostles panel, the health value fluctuates high and low. While being taken away for a moment, it recovered at a certain constant rate. But this is not a good thing. The more healing triggers, the closer Yulin's death countdown will be. Yulin suddenly glanced towards Li Erpang. Suzayasu was seriously injured. Li Erpang was still hesitating. Do you want? A hint of coldness flashed across Yulin's calm eyes. He knew that when this weird main task 3 appeared, Li Erpang would definitely hesitate. After all, we are all apostles, there is no need to pretend to be a holy mother. Only. For Yulin, this trial has other special meanings besides passing the level. Apart from fate, Yulin could not think of any other reason. Needless to say, Pan Zhenji. Suzayasu didn't know him. But the other two. Zhu Yun'er, one of the future 8 shadows, is a traitor to the imperial family. Li Erpang, the future gluttony Li Erpang in the group 7 deadly sins. In a small trial, 3 people actually knew each other. At the beginning of the trial, when she saw everyone's information in Dr. Jack's office, Yulin already felt the wonder of fate. It was also at that time that Yulin decided to keep Zhu Yun'er, one of the 8 shadows, in this trial. Even when Yulin was silently making plans, she had intentionally or unintentionally glanced at Zhu Yunar's neck several times. Got used to. But he didn't choose to take action at that time. Yulin finally made plan A. Kill with a borrowed knife. To be precise, Zhu Yunar was completely killed here by taking advantage of the general trend of the plot. Also because of Yulin's plan, he never exposed his disaster-ridden skill in front of others. The moment he arrived on the Batmobile and jumped into the air, Yulin just seized the opportunity. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It was also the moment when the laughing bat was about to attack Zhu Yunar. At that moment, no one knew that Yulin's line, which looked like a scene, actually became Zhu Yunar's life-threatening talisman. So, she died. Without arousing anyone's suspicion, Yulin used a disaster haunting and took away Zhu Yunar's life with the help of the claws of the laughing bat. Although her death was quite sudden. Compared with Yulin's other plans, Zhu Yunar's death method was perfect and impeccable. Now all that is left is. Yulin silently counts the countdown to death. The time he left for Li Erpang to hesitate was only 1 minute at most. Yulin actually already has a way to kill the laughing bat. But, there are two options. Or kill everyone except Pan Zhenji. Or use the power of others to kill the laughing bat together. Yulin released disaster-ridden at that time and spoke very fast. And accompanied by the roar of the Batmobile. Li Erpang and Suzayasu basically would not associate that line with Zhu Yunar's death. But if Li Erpang continues paddling. Hummed. Li Erpang suddenly yelled. He could also see that Pan Zhenji and Yulin could only deal with the laughing bat, but no matter how many wounds it left on the laughing bat, it was still alive and well, and there was no trace of fatigue at all. This boss regenerates blood too quickly. Li Erpang suddenly looked at Yulin and said quickly, "Cooperate." Yulin finally smiled, and the coldness in his eyes quickly faded away, and he also replied, "Cooperation." Li Erpang suddenly shuddered. Do not know why. Yulin's inexplicable smile made him feel an illusion. Almost, the road became narrow. Weird delusions. Li Erpang shook his head and put the weird illusion behind him. Call. Li Erpang took a long breath and took a step forward. In an instant, the entire area trembled slightly with Li Erpang's step. And Li Erpang's feet sank a few centimeters in an instant. The ground is cracked. When Li Erpang raised his head again, his huge belly disappeared quickly at a speed visible to the naked eye. That face, that belly, those thighs, those arms, as if the fat all over the body were trembling crazily and compressing rapidly. Li Erpang's whole body was opisthatonic. A moan of ah came out of his mouth. There is a sense of déjà vu as if Balala the little devil fairy has transformed. In the blink of an eye, all the fat disappeared, and Li Erpang transformed into a tall man with strong muscles. Burn the fat. Seeing that Li Erpang finally used his last trump card, Yulin directly threw the two-faced man's fate coin that Zhu Yunar didn't have time to use to Pan Zhenji. After Pan Zhenji caught the coin, his expression condensed slightly. But the next moment, he threw the coin into the air without hesitation. Ding! After Yulin threw the somewhat unlucky coin to Lao Pan, without saying a word, she took out a stack of cards from the storage space. Strengthening. Agility strengthening. Dynamic vision up. Defense strengthening. Speed reflex. Memory enhancement. Etc. Li Erpang's movements seemed to contain the power of a dragon and an elephant, and he punched the laughing bat. There was actually a hissing sound around his fist as it rubbed against the air. You are so damn wasteful of the more than 100 kilograms of fat that fatty has worked so hard to save. Li Erpang felt very sad. This is his hidden trump card at the end. These are his two matching skills. Attack. Fat. Let it burn. Fat. As the name suggests, the more fat on the body and the higher the body fat percentage, the stronger his defense. And burn, fat, but it can turn all the accumulated fat into a temporary strength attribute bonus in one breath, crushing everything in an instant. But what distressed Li Erpang the most was not just the compost. Because after using the trump card skills to burn all the fat, even if you survive the last copy, the burned fat cannot be classified as injury. In other words, it is the fat that is burned away that cannot be repaired with the death point when it comes back. He had to eat again. Start over and eat a big fat man. I feel so bad. Li Erpang knocked away the laughing bat with one punch. The laughing bat took Li Erpang's punch forcefully, his chest collapsed, and his face showed pain for the first time. At the same time as Li Erpang exploded, the coin that Pan Zhenji tossed turned into a golden light and blended into his body. In an instant, his messy hair stood up like steel. It looks like there is a certain kind of human race that becomes stronger when dying, the transformed form. Yo. Not bad. Pan Zhenji's luck value was indeed, as Yulin guessed, extremely high. It directly triggered the lucky side of the fate coin. It did not explode on the spot and died on the spot. His movements and strength have both increased. Yulin directly crushed all the cards. This is also the biggest trump card he has accumulated in this trial mission. 1. The question mark scepter is extremely effective, but extremely difficult to use. At the very least, Yulin felt that it was indeed quite difficult. Crime puzzle. This is the equipment effect of the Riddler's exclusive epic equipment, the question mark scepter. To achieve this effect, the time of crime, location of crime and mode of crime must be announced in the form of puzzles. The most important thing is that Yulin must strictly abide by the answer to the puzzle and successfully implement the criminal facts in order to trigger the effect of a criminal puzzle. That is, every time you successfully commit a crime, you will get a little Easter egg from the Riddler. From the Easter eggs, you can randomly obtain various magical little buffs. The duration of the magical little buff is only 10 minutes. Slow landing and bullet deflection that Yulin used before are also two of the magical little buffs. Now, at this last moment, Yulin did not hesitate to shoot all the buffs on herself. All kinds of rays of light flashed across Yulin's body. Almost all states have received a round of improvement. With the blessing of various buffs, although Yulin's attributes are not off the charts, her overall strength has been improved to a terrifying level. Next. The ending is no longer suspense. The laughing bat is not in its entirety. Although he possesses Joker's madness, his physical attributes are only slightly higher than those of Batman at his peak. It has not reached the extraordinary state. After a few minutes of being beaten by Pan Zhenji, Li Erpang, and Yulin, the laughing bat's healing speed became slower and slower, the blood on its body became more and more, and its movements gradually became slow. No matter how fast you recover blood, it doesn't mean you are invincible. Anyone who has played the game knows it. As long as the DPS is much higher than the boss's blood recovery speed, it can be solved. In Yurin's plan B. If Li Erpang refuses to take action, or chooses to kill Yulin as the goal to clear the level, Yulin didn't panic. After all, he had already accumulated 5 levels of bloodthirsty disaster. Even if she is against everyone, Yulin is confident that she can crush everyone if she uses all her cards. Just killing the laughing bat may be a waste of more time. Pan Zhenji, whose attributes had skyrocketed, swung his stick wildly and hit the laughing bat on the face, his smile gradually becoming abnormal. Because all the fat on his body was burned away, Li Erpang was filled with grief and anger. He actually exerted 120% of his strength and directly held the laughing bat to death in an indescribable posture. The man went up and the man went down, the man went up, the man went up and the man went up, punching the laughing bat's chest one after another. The smile gradually didn't come out. Seeing that the two of them had occupied the output positions, Yulin was not to be outdone, and simply switched Blood Jasmine into Bloodshot form. The Bloodshot surged, and she frantically strangled the lower plate of the laughing bat. It's time for the final output to brush up on the clearance evaluation. I don't know how much time passed. The maniacal laughter of the laughing bat gradually weakened. Even with the slightest grievance. Then. There's no after that. Certainly. Yulin did not relax her vigilance towards other people. Even Suzayasu was seriously injured not far away and could not move. After all, one of the ways to complete this main quest 3. Just let Yulin kill himself. Congratulations to Apostle 1010 for successfully killing the fake laughing bat. Get chaos value add 250. Main mission 3, completely destroy the fake laughing bat or riddle gentleman within the limited time, mission completed. This chaos value seems to be a bit low. It's not as good as the final boss, the laughing bat. But think about it carefully. Yulin did not kill the laughing bat alone. Yulin was quickly relieved by this result. The moment the task completion prompt appears, the fake laughing bat Bruce Wayne, who was being ridden by the fat man, completely stopped moving when the mission prompt was displayed. At this moment, a large lump of green mist was peeled off from Bruce's body. He bypassed Li Erpang in an instant and covered Yulin. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Shueshi. Chapter 128. Li Erpang and Suzayasu are running out of life. After a round of escorting, Li Erpang and Suzayasu already showed a somewhat aging posture. But fortunately, a reminder that the task has been completed has appeared. Only when that big green mist was inhaled by Yulin, Suzayasu and Li Erpang struggled to stand up. Li Erpang looked at Yulin with something called vigilance in his eyes. But the gap is too small. The eyes are purely based on imagination. Laughing virus? Are you going to become another boss? To be honest, there is no extra fat left in Li Erpang's body for him to burn. If the plot is really so bloody and Yulin changes into another ultimate boss, Li Erpang can only lie on the ground and accept his fate. Yulin ravaged. Come as you please. Come on. Yulin felt the changes inside her body for a moment. There was no other discomfort except for a strange laughter coming from the moment he absorbed the green mist. Can you open your eyes and talk? After a moment, Yulin shook his head. If I'm not wrong, it shouldn't be such a bloody setting. If it is, how many people do you think can survive this mission? Li Erpang couldn't help but be startled when he heard this. What Yulin said makes sense. He was speechless. If someone kills the boss, he becomes the next boss. Only one person can survive in the end. This unscientific. It's also unreasonable. Besides, Yulin chuckled and said, if this is really the setting, then you will soon receive a mission, to kill the laughing gentleman, instead of being prompted that the mission is completed and he will return soon. Yulin is also quite aware of the various aspects of the rules of the other world. Although this rule likes to play word traps, the moment the mission is completed is announced, it means the end of the trial, and the apostles will never be hung up and beaten again. Yulin believed that with this basic integrity, that will would still be abided by. Li Erpang seemed to have accepted Yulin's analysis. Finally, it's over. Li Erpang sat down on the ground, panting slightly. These 3 nights in Gotham seemed like a century. What has to be said is that after Li Erpang burned all the fat in his body, he transformed from a fat man into a well-proportioned and muscular man. To be honest, if he ran back to the real world in this posture, it would definitely arouse the excitement of many lonely young women. Pangenji finished his outburst and sat down on the ground. After swinging the laughing bat crazily, he threw the metal bat aside. Although these villains' epic equipment is good, they have rules unique to this world and cannot be taken out of this world. Including Yulin's question mark scepter. However, Yulin didn't feel too sorry. After all, the conditions for using the question mark scepter are harsh. If you want to complete all kinds of incredible crimes in the real world. Will be 404. All in all, it's quite difficult. Yulin lowered his head and quickly recalled everything he had experienced in this trial. There are some doubts that remain unanswered. Call out. The world suddenly stopped. Everything was silent. From every corner of Gotham, the sounds of gunfire and wild laughter were all frozen in time. It's a pity, there's not enough time. If she had enough time, Yulin would like to go to 2 more places to test her guesses. Do you know? Li Erpang suddenly glanced at Yulin. If I hadn't known that you had that thing on you, I might have just treated you as a boss. Yulin chuckled. No comment on this. Who will swipe whom, is not yet certain. Of course, he also knew what that thing Li Erpang was referring to. When trading TNT bombs, Li Erpang and Suzayasu each used a prop to trade a bunch of TNT. Although it was not used in the end, Yulin was not at a loss. Li Erpang glared at Yulin hatefully. He glanced at Pangenji again murderously. Thinking of everything that happened during this trial, Li Erpang felt extremely depressed. I always feel at a loss. Big loss. But even though he was thick-skinned, he was too embarrassed to ask for that thing back from Yulin at this moment, so he could only curse a few words in his mind. After all, no matter what, this trial is finally over. It's a good thing to survive. Right now. Suzayasu looked calm, and her injuries were almost healed at this moment. The smooth skin has some faint wrinkles. I saw her walking straight in front of Li Erpang. There was a moment of silence. Li Erpang felt a large shadow blocking the light. Li Erpang sat there for 2 seconds, then raised his head expressionlessly. Su, brother Su. Suzayasu stared deeply at Li Erpang. That look in his eyes made Li Erpang feel very frightened. Su, sister Su. Do you have any advice? Facing the tower-like figure in front of him, Li Erpang almost said what was in his heart. He swallowed it back hard. Suzayasu suddenly clenched her fist towards Li Erpang. The size of a casserole. Li Er was shocked. I like you. Suzayasu suddenly said 4 words. Yulin. Li Erpang. Pangenji. This seemed like a big embarrassing confession scene. In an instant, everyone fell silent. Yulin also looked strange. After Li Erpang came to his senses, he immediately cried and said, Sister Su, have I offended you in some way? What do you like about me? Can't I change it? You were the first man to touch me there. The weight is about the same as mine. So, I think we're a good fit. After Suzayasu finished speaking, she didn't know if it was because she was shy, but there was no other emotion visible on her face. He turned around and said to the dumbfounded Li Erpang, I will come to find you. Suzayasu left quickly. Yulin patted Li Erpang on the shoulder, you will thank me in the future. Li Erpang looked confused. The next second, customs clearance evaluation is being calculated. Evaluation, SS. Note, due to the main mission 2 reward, the clearance evaluation level is add 1. Final clearance evaluation, SSS. Yulin. Total attribute value reward add 1.5. Distributed based on Apostle 1010 trial performance. Strength add 0.7, Agility add 0.5, Spirit add 0.5, Will add 0.1, Luck minus 0.3, Charm add 0.0. Yulin saw the attribute distribution at the same time. The corners of his mouth couldn't help but twitch slightly. The luck value dropped again. Yulin has almost become accustomed to it, so forget it. As for the change in charm value, what does add 0.0 mean? Doesn't it mean not adding it? Is it necessary to list them out specifically to prick your heart? Or, in the eyes of that will, the charm value has not changed and it is already a gift? This is, Outrageous. Regarding the distribution of this attribute value, combined with the performance in the trial, Yulin quickly made corresponding speculations. It seems that in the second main mission, Yulin used a TNT bomb to blow up Gotham. This kind of violent crime belongs to the distribution of power. As for the puzzle part of Riddle Gentleman, it adds a lot of points to the spiritual evaluation. As for the charm value, Yulin speculated that perhaps it was because of Yulin's elegant and charming image as a riddle gentleman in the trial that the charm value did not change. Besides, Gotham City is a city with distorted values. You can get a glimpse of it from the types of best-selling books. Doesn't it mean that as long as you become a charming villain, your charm value won't drop ridiculously? Yulin couldn't laugh or cry. And when Yulin speculated on the reason for the distribution of attribute values, customs clearance and settlement are still continuing. Death points are being settled. Difficulty bonus, 40%, nightmare difficulty. Evaluation bonus, 50%. Death points obtained, 1900. Now draw random rewards. Due to the main mission 1 mission reward, the number of random reward draws add 1. It's time for the lucky draw again. Yulin waited silently. His expression was neither happy nor sad. Peace of mind. Get props happy drink *3. Get the special status card bullet deflection *3. Get the special status card dynamic vision up *3. Is this the legendary 3 times? No. 9 times happiness. Yulin almost didn't need to look at the attributes to know exactly what he had drawn. Settlement continues. Thanks to Apostle 1010, the youth potion containing mysterious chemical substances was successfully purified to more than 90%, and the body was successfully transformed and strengthened. Dionysus factor, remnant. Because of Apostle 1010, he became active in Gotham City as the Riddle Gentleman in this trial and became the rising star of Gotham's new generation of villains, earning the title Riddle Gentleman. Unlock the title system. Level improvement. Congratulations to the First Order Apostle for reaching the 12th floor of the Tower of Death. The Apostle level is promoted to 2nd level. Current level, LV12. Unlock the Forum function. Unlock the Trading function. It has been detected that Apostle 1010's body is slightly damaged. Do you want to spend the death points to repair the body? Yes/no? No matter if it's minor or not, let's fix it. Safe. Yes. Consume 10 death points. The repair is completed instantly. Return. Gotham City. Time passes again. No one knew that not long ago, the clocks in the entire world stopped spinning for a few minutes. No one knew that after this night, both Bruce Wayne and all the supervillains in Gotham City disappeared completely. That Gotham City, with its dark and simple customs, may one day truly become a city with simple folk customs. And after Yulin and others returned. Arkham Nursing Home. This place has become a building full of dead people. No living person exists. There were corpses everywhere and rivers of blood. And in Dr. Jack's office, in front of the computer, the space suddenly became distorted. In that twisted space, there are countless mysterious and complex codes flowing faintly. From the twisted space, a pale palm silently stretched out and gently covered Dr. Jack's computer. Zzz. A strange piercing electric noise rippled faintly in the office. After a few seconds, Dr. Jack's desktop computer flickered on and off. In the blink of an eye, a string of garbled characters appeared on the computer screen. After a few seconds, it went completely off and never lit up again. Abnormal fragment, cleared. Ching Cheng. Yulin rental house. Yulin and Pangenji appeared in the room at the same time. In no particular order. The moment he appeared, Yulin quickly glanced around the room. Well, nothing unusual. Ignore Pangenji for now. Yulin started first, Sorting out the gains from the previous trial. First is the Apostle panel. Ilan, ID, 1010. Title Riddle Gentleman. Health 100%. Psychic energy value 690. Module Apocalypse Knight, damaged. Level LV 12, second level Apostle. Strength 3.1. Agility 4.4. Spirit 6.9. Will 7.4. Lucky 3.3. Charm 2.2. Skills follow you like a shadow, max, plagued by disaster, 3 stars, bloodthirsty disaster, 2 stars, run fast, D level. Enhancement killing skills, A level, Dionysus factor, disabled, A level. Attributes have increased overall. Dionysian factor? Is this the true face of the youth potion? From the middle of the trial, Yilin had already deduced that the medicine they injected should be a strengthening method that could transform the body. Well, let's read the instructions first. Dionysian factor, residual. Grade A grade. Effect click to view details. Explanation: this is a green liquid metal that exists in nature in a certain world. After being transformed by a crazy and bottomless criminal, he has the magical ability to be almost immortal. Because it is an incomplete version with insufficient purity, the side effects are unknown, so use it and cherish it. This is hard to describe. The words unknown side effects made Yilin slightly uneasy. Forget it, let Molly draw a few tubes of blood and study it when you have time. After all, Yilin has no other discomfort at present. It's like the piece of dead skin stuck to the forehead. There's no point in thinking about it. Insufficient information. There are also other raffle proceeds. Happy drink. Grade rough. Effect click to view details. Explanation: it contains a very small amount of laughing virus, but it is of no use if it is not taken for a long time. Bullet deflection. Grade rare. Effect click to view details. Description from the Riddler Easter egg series of cards. The Riddler has always found it strange. It is a happy guessing game, but why do people always tell him to get out of Gotham? Dynamic vision up. Grade rare. Effect click to view details. Explanation: as long as you move fast enough, you might be able to dodge bullets. Happy guessing game. The Riddler, get out of Gotham. Yilin expressionlessly put the 9 times happiness into the storage space. As the contents of the storage space became more and more abundant, Yilin also felt that there were more and more messy things. Although she didn't draw the skill, Yilin felt a little regretful. But in addition to happy drink, the other 2 special status cards can also play a role in certain situations. This is not entirely without gain. Haha, maybe the expectations are too high. Yilin shook her head helplessly. Of course, in addition to random rewards, Yilin still has other gains from this trial in the inner world. From the CPS Suzayasu and Li Erpang, no, let's not talk about the props obtained from the transaction. 2 other items. Batsuit modified. Batbike. But Yilin took him out. The difference between this equipment and mount and other epic equipment is that it is probably because Batman voluntarily gave up ownership, so it is an ownerless thing. In terms of attribute description, there is also a missing item cannot be taken out of this world. Although Batsuit modification is temporarily unable to be equipped by Yilin due to some special and unimportant reasons. But the Batbike is really useful. It's just that the exaggerated shape generally cannot be revealed in the real world. Certainly. The most important reason is can't get on the cards. It is illegal driving. After sorting out all the gains, Yilin took advantage of her free time and entered the module space. In the dark spiritual world, Yilin was still naked, floating in front of the module picture. Without acquiring new skills, Yilin will have no other option to join the module for a while. Upgrade. Yilin thought about it and checked the remaining chaos value. The current remaining chaos value is 28,560. Not long ago, more than 20,000 chaos value was indeed a huge sum of money. However, as the chaos value required in the module has increased, this seemingly rich chaos value can only barely let Yulin snap. There is no sense of pleasure at all. Upgrade Bloodthirsty Scourge? If Disaster Haunted continues to be upgraded, even if it reaches the full level, according to Yulin's estimation, at most the probability of triggering double happiness will be increased and the consumption of spiritual energy will be reduced. And obviously there is a 50% probability on the skill panel that it can trigger 2 or more negative states. But in Yulin's impression, it doesn't seem to be triggered. This is a bit strange. Therefore, after Yulin carefully weighed it before upgrading Disaster Ridden, it was currently not cost-effective. As for Bloodthirsty Disaster, the skill that can be called the last trump card, to upgrade from 2 stars to 3 stars, 40,000 chaos points are required. Not enough. Sudden. Just as Yulin was playing with the module boredly, zooming in and out, he suddenly discovered that the first shattering skill ball at the starting point of another bleak module route had some changes. The shattering skill ball was glowing dimly at a certain unique frequency, just like breathing. If Yulin hadn't looked carefully, he might not have been able to spot it. He subconsciously shrunk the module and brought it closer to his field of vision. Then, his finger tapped lightly. A mount card that can be matched as Apocalypse Mount has been detected. Apocalypse Mount? Etc. Could it be? Yulin used her imagination to grab a card from the void. That card turned out to be the recently obtained Bat Motorcycle. Bat Motorcycle. After entering the module space from the storage space, it was automatically converted into a light ball like a skill, floating quietly in the dark space. Yulin thought for a moment, and after careful consideration, she pushed the Bat Motorcycle light ball along a new route. Reactivating Apocalypse Mount requires 50,000 chaos points currently. The chaos points are insufficient and Apocalypse Mount cannot be reactivated. Please choose again. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Infinity Throne. Author, by Yi Shueshi. Chapter 129. September 5, 2121. Early morning. This is another city hundreds of kilometers away from Qingcheng. City Center Hospital. It's quiet at night. The hospital corridor was filled with the pungent smell of disinfectant. Because this is the season with high incidence of respiratory viruses, it is very important to disinfect in time and take good protection. In the long and narrow corridor, the lights were dim, flickering on and off. Didn't we ask the logistics department to repair this broken lamp a few days ago? It's been a few days and it's still not finished. This kind of work efficiency is not enough to get fired. This is outrageous. A middle-aged security guard patrolled the hospital corridor late at night holding a flashlight. Mouthing in his mouth. Hiss. Suddenly, there was a slight chill behind the security guard. There seemed to be a strange chill that swept across his back. For a moment, he actually had the illusion that a woman had touched him from behind. My hands are just a little cold. The security guard was so frightened that he trembled and looked back. There is no one behind. There was only one window open in the corridor, letting in a cold breeze. Tisk, you scared me. September is already the beginning of autumn. The temperature at night seemed a bit cool. In addition, the windows in the corridor were not closed and the autumn wind was blowing. No wonder there was such an illusion. The security guard didn't dare to complain loudly. He just stepped forward and silently closed the window in the corridor. Laugh. The lights that flickered on and off flickered violently again. If I had known better, I wouldn't have watched that kind of weird sick house movie for cheap. The picture quality is not good, and it can easily make people have wild thoughts after watching it. After finding out the culprit of the coldness behind his back, the middle-aged security guard felt much better. Even the flickering light seemed a bit cute inexplicably. Well, it's almost bedtime dash. Clatter. Clatter. Da-da. Suddenly, at the end of the dim corridor, there was a crisp sound of high heels. If you listen carefully, the footsteps of high-heeled shoes seem to have a strange rhythm, as if movement is not very flexible. Because the sound of normal people walking should be da, 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 instead of ta da, 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 da. Who? The middle-aged security guard's legs couldn't stop shaking. When he heard the footsteps, he turned around almost subconsciously, and the bright flashlight instantly swept in the direction of the sound. I don't know if it was influenced by the horror movie he watched not long ago, but the middle-aged security guard always felt that the atmosphere in the hospital tonight was a bit weird. It's all this broken lamp. The middle-aged security guard swallowed. He didn't realize that in just a few seconds, the palms of his hands that were holding the flashlight were filled with sweat. Wouldn't it be that evil? I have an 80-year-old mother above me, and a tall and sexy figure appeared from the end of the corridor. It was a female doctor in a white coat. Call. The moment he saw the figure clearly, the middle-aged security guard let out a long sigh of relief. Then I thought about my surprise and couldn't help but feel a little funny. At this age, I really become more and more timid as I live. Soon, the female doctor walked up to the middle-aged security guard. Who are you? The middle-aged security guard suddenly felt that the surrounding temperature seemed to have dropped a little, and he couldn't help but tremble. Dr. Zhang. The female doctor lowered her head and looked at the badge on her chest. There was a young photo on the badge. Then Dr. Zhang gestured to the security guard and smiled slightly. Oh, hey, hello Dr. Zhang, are you working night shift tonight? The security guard put away the flashlight and didn't know where to put his hand. There was no other reason. The female doctor was quite beautiful, which made the security guard not dare to look directly into Dr. Zhang's cold eyes. Dr. Zhang? By the way, he vaguely remembered that there was indeed such a doctor in the cardiology department on this floor. It is said that he is still unmarried and single. If he could be 20 years younger, ahem. No, I'll come back and work overtime. Working overtime? You are quite busy, right? I also read the news today, saying that 2 young children died in the past 2 days, both around 20 years old. The news said that the cause of death was heart disease. Tisk tisk, now young people don't know how to balance work and rest, so they run out all day long. Hee hee. Dr. Zhang smiled, as if he didn't want to dwell on this topic any longer. By the way, Dr. Zhang, I see your walking style, maybe your foot is injured, right? When Dr. Zhang heard this, his expression suddenly became a little strange. But he just shook his head. I'm not used to wearing high heels. When the middle-aged security guard saw Dr. Zhang's expression, he shut his mouth instantly. Ask for contempt. He waved his hand quickly. Dr. Zhang, then I will continue to patrol, and this will not interfere with your business. The security guard quickly laughed with him and left from the enchanting Dr. Zhang. Dr. Zhang hummed softly and walked towards the ward without looking back. The middle-aged security guard couldn't help but look back. That small buttocks is really, ahem, don't look at anything inappropriate, don't look at anything inappropriate. Afraid that the beautiful woman would find him peeping, the middle-aged security guard quickly turned around and continued patrolling. He did not dare to look at her for too long and picked up the flashlight again. Generally speaking, the patrol was just a formality. Or handle some disputes that are inconvenient for doctors on duty to deal with. After all, the conflict between doctors and patients is indeed quite difficult to describe. Otherwise, who would hire an old man like him as a security guard? The middle-aged security guard yawned, and the surrounding temperature seemed to be slightly warmer again. Sure enough, it was that damn window, and the cool breeze was blowing, scaring me to death. Well, I heard that the incidence of heart disease among young people has increased. The news just said that our hospital is required to do some statistics and prepare a copy to encourage citizens to eat properly and work properly. It's not easy to be a doctor these days. Not only do you have to be able to see patients, but you also have to be able to write a copy, and you have to be able to stay up late. You also have to be good at physical strength, and your level of physical strength and dragon walking skills shouldn't be too low. Tisk tisk. Correct. The middle-aged security guard suddenly remembered something. Just this morning, the city news seemed to have published a memorial. It was said that a female doctor from a certain hospital in the city also died suddenly at home due to a heart attack, and she also called on the citizens of the city to forward it. Thinking of this, the middle-aged security guard turned on his mobile phone and reviewed the news that he had not read carefully in the morning. Huh? He's actually the doctor in our unit. Oh. Female. Only 26 years old. Unmarried. Oh, so pitiful. I heard that the body is still in the freezing chamber of the morgue. Suddenly, the middle-aged security guard felt inexplicably that the doctor who died of a heart attack looked a bit familiar. As we all know, there is always a huge gap between looks and photos. The middle-aged security guard rubbed his eyes. Look at the names of the deceased below the news. Zhang, Zhang, Zhang. In an instant, the middle-aged security guard turned pale. Snapped. The phone fell to the ground and made a loud noise. Oh. So it's me. A voice suddenly sounded from behind the cold middle-aged security guard. Whispering in a low voice. Close to your ears. The fragrance hits your nose. Ching chang. The weather is cloudy. Yilin silently browsed the Apostle Forum. Dear Senior Masters, you are out of your mind. You have some doubts about the agility enhancement route and don't know how to improve it? Now that I think about it, I was so lucky in the last trial. The heartwarming story of me and a certain female apostle falling in love and killing each other during the trial, is being serialized. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. I am a powerful person on the strength side. In the last trial, my mental attributes were increased even more than my strength. A newbie would like to ask, what is the level of getting an A rating in 2 consecutive trials? Then the following are all water-based replies. Owner, please give me eternal punishment. Manual funny. The dog head saves his life. The tiger's body trembles, and he walks away in 3 points. Life is so lonely as snow. Washing is an attitude. Yilin browsed around briefly, but didn't seem to find anything particularly interesting, so she silently closed the forum. Boasting posts. Accounted for 90%. But it's understandable. Compared to a certain period of time in the future, the current apostolic circle is still in a comfortable period. It's normal. Not far away. Pan Zhenji's face was expressionless, with a hint of coldness. Suddenly, Pan Zhenji raised his palm. An invisible aura slowly emanated from him. Apostle Panel. Yilin. A few seconds later, Pan Zhenji changed his posture. Come again, Apostle Panel. Yilin. Damn it, Apostle Panel. Yilin. After Pan Zhenji tried 18 more postures. Finally he put down his sore arms. Then he ran up to Yilin and spread his palms. Bring me a bottle of love-forgetting water. That's called a happy drink, Yilin corrected. It doesn't matter, I want to drink. Yilin reluctantly took out the happy drink from the storage space and threw it to Pan Zhenji. Pan Zhenji raised his head and took a big sip. Then he sang happily. Happy breakup, I wish you happiness, you can find a better one. While singing loudly, Pan Zhenji drifted away. Boom. Then he shut himself in the door and locked it. Yilin sighed softly, another one is crazy. Pan Zhenji's weird reaction can be traced back to when Yilin and Pan Zhenji just returned from a trip to Gotham City, a city with simple folk customs. That day, Yilin looked at the annoying 50,000 chaos points requirement and exited the module space speechlessly. Pan Zhenji frowned and ran over. Yilin took 5 seconds to carefully distinguish Pan Zhenji's expression and movements, and quickly came to a conclusion. Pan Xiaozheng. Well, the relatively normal Pan Zhenji. It's not important. Pan Xiaozheng's expression seemed a little confused. What happened during the trial? Hearing this, Yilin couldn't help but be slightly startled. What happened to you, you ask me? Pan Xiaozheng hesitated for a moment and then told his story. Pity. No whine. Yilin finished listening. Can't help but fall into deep thought. Pan Zhenji was actually more mysterious than he imagined. Is the world of neurosis really so difficult to understand? In other words, you usually share memories. Even if you don't appear, you can still see the outside through his eyes. Yes, Pan Zhenji nodded. Then in Gotham City, the last thing you remember is the other you, hiding in the women's room putting on makeup? And then, nothing more. Pan Xiaozheng sighed. Then, when I woke up, I was lying in a nursing home, surrounded by corpses. All the memories in between are gone. Yeah, seeing that Yilin finally understood, Pan Zhenji felt inexplicably better. It may be difficult for you to understand the relationship between me and him, and it will be difficult for me to explain it clearly for a while. Nonsense, if normal people can understand it, then that's abnormal. Yilin said silently in her heart. But he did not interrupt Pan Zhenji's words. Usually when I appear, he is in a state similar to a deep sleep. In fact, he should also feel my presence, so many times, he subconsciously does not go to sleep. Unless, you just can't help it? Is this the reason for the dark circles under his eyes? It's not important, Pan Zhenji shrugged, and after waking up from the nursing home, I felt a little different. It didn't seem like he was sleeping, it was like, gone. No more. Yilin's expression condensed slightly. Pan Xiaozheng rubbed his messy hair. No, that's not quite accurate. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that when I woke up, I didn't take the medicine, that NT-046. Yilin lowered her head and thought for a moment. In other words, Pan Xiaozheng had no idea what was going on with Pan Zhenji's inexplicably accurate intuition in the second main mission. A minute later, Yilin chuckled. Isn't this good? Yilin was referring to Pan Xiaozheng's complete change of position. No, you don't understand. Pan Xiaozheng looked confused. He just feels like he is gone, but in fact he is still there. What do you mean? Yilin frowned slightly when he heard this. I can't open the apostle panel. Pan Zhenji is not here. Apart from opening the storage space, I can't use either the apostle panel or the skills. Yilin understood, pointed at Pan Zhenji, and said slowly, in other words, you are just a mobile warehouse now. Pan Xiaozheng. He wanted to punch this guy in the face who was not very attractive. But I couldn't refute it. Then go to sleep. Yilin waved her hand. Pan Xiaozheng. Yilin chuckled, if you don't sleep, what use do you have? Pan Xiaozheng. All in all, Pan Xiaozheng is useless. Quite suddenly. I originally thought that a large account was online, but I didn't expect that Pan Xiaozheng only stole half of the account and was unable to obtain complete permissions on this body. No wonder he was so depressed and entangled. Sudden. Pan Xiaozheng silently flipped through the storage space. Suddenly he took out a metal baseball bat from the storage space. Yilin took a look. His eyelids twitched slightly. This metal baseball bat looks too familiar. It is estimated that Li Erpang, who has been ravaged by a baseball bat, will be so frightened that his 200 kilograms of fat will bounce in place when he sees the stick. After all. Psychological shadow. Did you bring this out before you left? After being surprised, Yilin couldn't help but frown. He remembered that the villain's equipment seemed to be unable to be taken out of this world. Scepter is like this. I don't know why. The only things Yilin brought out from Gotham City were the Batsuit change and the Bat motorcycle. Batsuit modified, it's still useless that he can't use. That's why Yilin had this reaction when she saw Pan Xiaozheng taking out a stick. Pan Xiaozheng was quite confused and not in the mood. I just played with it casually and said casually, no, it's smoked. Smoke. Yilin? Let me take a look. Pan Xiaozheng didn't worry that Yilin would snatch the stick away, and threw it directly towards Yilin. Metal bats are easier to buy than you think. Certainly. This is also the reason why Yilin's strength attribute has improved a lot. Harley Quinn's metal bat is full of pits, but there is a section at the end that looks smooth, as if it has been carefully polished over many years. Harley Quinn's best friend. Level epic. Restriction strength value is greater than 5.0, luck value is greater than 5.0. Durable cannot be worn. Effect click to view details. Instructions click to view details. Yilin expressionlessly threw Harley Quinn's best friend back to Pan Zhenji. Then said nothing. Rushed into the bathroom. 5 minutes later. Yilin washed her hands thoroughly, a full 15 times. Coming out of the bathroom, Pan Xiaozheng was still playing with his good friend boredly. Well, I played for 15 minutes. Is it really that fun? Yilin's face looked slightly strange. By the way, it's you who settles the score, what's your clearance rating? After asking, Yilin added, if you find it inconvenient, you don't have to tell me, don't force it. These are the secrets of the apostles. Yilin didn't feel that she had a good relationship with Pan Zhenji and Pan Xiaozheng. He asked this just because he had some speculation about the previous copy, and he also needed to get some information from Pan Xiaozheng's mouth. Pan Xiaozheng didn't seem to think this was a big deal. While throwing Harley Quinn's best friend around, he said casually, the evaluation was B, but it was later promoted to a level. What happened? Grade A? Yilin recalled Pan Zhenji's performance in Gotham City. Being promoted to level A means Pan Zhenji only has one chance to receive a random reward, etc. Did you get the epic equipment in the trial with just one draw? The corners of Yilin's eyes twitched slightly. His expression was a bit dull. As I said before, this is your secret, and you don't have to tell it. But I still want to ask, before you can see the apostle panel, what is your, or Pan Zhenji's lucky score? 8.6, what's wrong? Is it high? It's not high, you can go to sleep. Go away, I want to be quiet. In short, this is the little story Pan Xiaozheng has to tell. After the attribute value skyrockets, there are indeed sequelae. Unlike the rapid improvement of mental attributes, the improvement of strength and agility attributes in a short period of time will lead to uncoordinated physical activities. After all, this is equivalent to a kind of supernatural power forcibly imposed on the apostle and cannot be obtained through little training. It took several days. Yilin finally became familiar with her enhanced body. September 9, 2121. Yilin is in the bathroom. Don't get me wrong, it's not hand washing. I saw Yilin gently making a cut on her finger with blood jasmine. Blood gurgled out. Yilin had no expression on her face. Instead, she opened the apostle panel and watched the recovery of health points and the speed of wound healing. Well, the experiment is almost done. Yilin finished speaking and then raised her eyebrows. Call out. A finger was cut off. 3 minutes later. Yilin walked out of the bathroom. Through 36 experiments of varying degrees, he roughly understood what happened to his body after strengthening the Dionysus factor, incomplete. Also, if you have time, you should send a tube of blood to Meng Meng for testing. Dionysian factor, incomplete. The unknown side effects on the description always make Yilin feel a little uneasy. But so far, no special side effects have been found. However, the healing ability is not clearly stated in the attributes. But after Yilin passed 36 tests on herself, reached a conclusion. The healing ability is not without consumption. What this ability consumes is his physical energy. Human physical abilities are not digitized on the Apostle panel. In fact, it cannot be digitized. But after activating the healing function several times in a row, Yilin clearly felt the fatigue coming from her body. After a few more healings, my whole body felt like it had been hollowed out. This is a bit helpless. But all in all, Dionysus factor, incomplete, is worthy of being an A-level enhancement, half a level higher than the breathing method killing skill that Yilin learned in Gawu Mountain. This greatly improved Yilin's survivability. Yilin put away the blood jasmine. Being bored, Yilin casually opened the communication list. At this time, Yilin noticed that Li Chang'e had also set Do Not Disturb on his profile picture. Because Li Chang'e was too noisy before, after setting Do Not Disturb, Yilin didn't think about it for a while and put the matter behind her. Yilin opened Li Chang'e's chat interface. After omitting a lot of nonsense before, the last message was actually 2 days ago. What is inconsistent with Li Chang'e's usual style is that this message from 2 days ago is unexpectedly concise and concise. Only 4 words. Boss, help. Infinity Throne. Author, Bai Shueshi. Chapter 130. Later, Yilin also learned from Pan Xiaozheng why Pan Xiaozheng sent a message asking Yilin to go to the garbage disposal room when she was in the nursing home. Pan Xiaozheng was suffering from the pain of lumbar disc herniation. When he finally moved to the garbage disposal room, he accidentally found several days' worth of medical waste. In the pile of medical waste, Pan Xiaozheng discovered the infusion cards of Yilin and others. There were a lot of drug names on it, but Pan Xiaozheng didn't understand it, so he could only ask Yilin to come over and help. Actually, to be honest, if it was just about this matter, it would be useless for Yilin to come. After all, this isn't his specialty. Later, before Yilin arrived, Pan Xiaozheng was unexpectedly attacked by Zhu Yun'er. Although he was not killed, he was slightly injured. During that process, the effect of Pan Xiaozheng's medicine wore off early, and Pan Zhenji took the initiative in the body again. When Zhu Yun'er discovered the youth potion in the medicine storehouse of the nursing home, Pan Zhenji knew about it somehow, went over to it, and snatched the box of youth potion from Zhu Yun'er's hand. The scene that Rin saw. In short, the process is very tortuous. But it has nothing to do with Yilin. Yilin thought for a while. After knowing the future 8 shadows identity of Zhu Yun'er in advance, if Yilin can arrive at the garbage disposal room in advance, it is estimated that nothing will happen to Zhu Yun'er later. Yilin combined Pan Xiaozheng's information and spent some time reorganizing the experience of the previous trial. Finally, 90% of the messy trial plot was sorted out. First, if Yilin's guess is not wrong, the timing of their arrival in Gotham City seems to have occurred some kind of unknown error. They were supposed to arrive in Gotham City 20 years ago. But for some reason, because of that mistake, Dr. Jack, also known as Joker, locked them up and conducted some kind of inhumane experiment. All subsequent main missions seem to be correcting the initial mistake. After analyzing this, Yilin narrowed his eyes slightly. That is to say, that can also go wrong? It seems that it is not as perfect as imagined. He. Yilin smiled, keeping this matter in her heart for the time being. It might come in handy in the future. Yilin also figured out other things. Dr. Jack is a key figure throughout the entire trial plot. In the name of Craze Beverage Company, he diluted a very small amount of the laughter virus in the happy drink that was sold throughout the city. This laughter virus is just like what is described in the attributes of happy drink. Only if you drink it for a long time will you gradually be affected by the laughter virus. Jack has been setting out in Gotham City for many years, and every citizen of Gotham City has accumulated a lot of laughter virus in his body. That's why their behavior is so weird and crazy. In Gotham City, Yulin has 3 key locations. If she doesn't miss them, she might be able to get an SSS rating. The first is the actual hiding place of Batman's gear. Second, Kretz Beverage Company. The third, and most crucial point, is Dr. Jack's computer. If the first 2 are explored clearly, it will undoubtedly deepen the exploration of the plot and greatly improve the evaluation level of customs clearance and settlement. And the computer of Dr. Jack, the other clown, must be hiding the biggest secret of the entire trial. That's where Joker comes from, and all that everything. All hidden in that computer. Who am I? The answer was printed on his face. Joker. Unfortunately, Yulin couldn't guess the answer at that time. Later, Yulin did not have enough time to return to Arkham nursing home. But no matter. Although Yulin felt a little pity, she was not too entangled. After all, he is not a god, so he cannot be detail-oriented and see through everything. Therefore, Yulin did not dwell on the regrets left in Gotham City for too long. After Yulin received Li Changa's distress message. After thinking for a few minutes, I decided to take it seriously. But Li Changa seemed to have suddenly become more stable. Instead of chirping in the chat window, he said mysteriously, "Meet and chat? Urgent. Did something happen to that guy?" Yulin was a little strange. Normally speaking, although Li Changa has weird skills, he still lives a prosperous life in that future, so nothing major should happen to him. Of course, it's hard to say all this. The butterfly effect is a mysterious thing. For example, Yulin has changed the future trajectory of many people so far. First of all, they are still good friends. Henry Zhang died and became a quantifier. Molly got to know herself ahead of time. The Xiao family was destroyed. Ling Wen was supposed to die that night, but was saved by Yulin and became an apostle. And Li Erpang. In the future funny group 7 Deadly Sins, Li Erpang is originally single. But after the last trial, Yulin seemed to have accidentally found a wife for Fatty. That's why Yulin meaningfully patted the fat man on the shoulder and said, "You will thank me in the future." Of course, no matter what happens to Fatty in the future, Yulin will always change the trajectory of Li Erpang's life. Student Erpang, thank you so much. So, Yulin really couldn't guarantee whether Li Changa would encounter anything because he teamed up with Yulin to play a dungeon. Well, I'd better go take a look. There's nothing to do anyway. Molly's investigation team has returned to the capital. It seemed that everything around Yulin suddenly became quiet. Except Pan Xiaozheng, who went crazy again. However, Yulin has long been used to loneliness, so this is okay. After Molly left, the two seemed to lose contact all of a sudden, and it was unknown what Molly was up to. Maybe he was busy studying the neural link technology obtained from the Xiao family's inheritance, or he was preparing to study several small projects that Yulin had carefully prepared. After simply packing her luggage, Yulin found Pan Xiaozheng, who was unhappy in the room. Pan Xiaozheng sometimes frowned and sometimes chuckled. From time to time he spread his hands again. Apostle panel. Alas, another one has gone crazy. Seeing Yulin pushing open the door and entering, Pan Xiaozheng gave Yulin a puzzled look. "I'm going to Hating City." "I am coming too." "Sure enough, we can communicate." It seems that he still has the nickname Pan Xiaozheng. Another account, Pan Zhenji, is still missing. Yulin did not ask Pan Xiaozheng why he wanted to follow, but he was probably too bored at home, so he simply went with Yilin. Maybe I can find a way to reactivate the apostle panel somewhere else, maybe. Hating City. Located in the east of Dragon Kingdom. Unlike the small county town of Qingcheng, Hating City is an out-and-out international metropolis. Both in terms of population and urban construction, it far exceeds Qingcheng. Has the reputation of Dragon Pearl of the East. In the future, Hating City will also be one of the fortresses held by mankind. Yilin couldn't help but sigh softly when she thought of the memories of the future. After the emergence of the restricted air zone, Longguo spent several years building a ground network throughout the country. That is the pipeline transportation all over the underground of Dragon Kingdom. Together with other pipeline lines, it forms the complex underground world of Dragon Kingdom. Taking the Daiwang from Qingcheng to Hating City only takes 34 minutes. As early as a few days ago, Yilin used the special group channel to cancel Pan Zhenji's ID from the Fengcheng Psychiatric Asylum. Therefore, now Pan Zhenji's ID can also buy tickets and shop online normally. By the way, when Zhao Yulong learned that Pan Zhenji was also an apostle, he couldn't help but be amazed based on his knowledge. This world is so big and full of wonders. I never thought that even a lunatic could become an apostle, he. If one day you suddenly tell me that a dog has become an apostle, I might be able to accept it. The above are Zhao Yulong's original words. Pan Xiaozheng frowned from time to time and raised his hand in weird gestures. This weird action made many people cast strange looks at Pan Xiaozheng. Yilin. The figures of the two people soon disappeared at the entrance of King Jin's underground network. And just after Yilin and Pan Xiaozheng left. In another part of Qingcheng. In a residential building. Ah, be good dash. A beautiful young woman smiled sweetly and fed food into the mouth of a pink little girl with pigtails. Spoonful after spoonful. It's the last bite, Zioxy, finish your meal obediently. Yeah, Zioxy knows. The little girl made a milky sound and responded vaguely, with a circle of white and sticky paste around her mouth. Unappetizing. Xiao 11 suddenly pouted. Lost his temper. Okay, Mom knows it's not delicious. Tomorrow, can Mom buy ice cream for Xiao 11? The one endorsed by the big star Li Chang'e. Xiao 11's eyes suddenly lit up. Then he opened his mouth obediently and took the last bite. He opened his mouth as if he was a good boy and wanted to buy some ice cream for Xiao Zixi. Sudden. Xiao 11 raised her head. There was a strange light flashing in those big and smart eyes. The beautiful young woman was concentrating on spooning the food stuck in the small bowl, and did not notice Xiao 11's strange expression for a moment. Mama, Zioxy wants to go to Hating City. Nonsense, what are you going to do in Hating City if you have nothing to do? Right now. The corners of Xiao 11's mouth curled up slightly. The beautiful young woman moved her hands, and her somewhat angry expression instantly became numb and indifferent. After a few seconds, the beautiful young woman returned to smiling again. Okay, if Zioxy says to go to Hating City, go to Hating City. Yeah. Xiao 11 cheered happily. Hating City. As soon as Pan Xiaozheng walked out of the underground network exit, he couldn't help but open his mouth. He let out a long sigh. Oh. There were people coming and going around, but no one seemed to pay attention to Pan Xiaozheng, a bumpkin from a small county town. Countless towering buildings stood proudly like a steel jungle in front of Yilin's eyes. Under the sun, the paint on the exterior walls of the buildings reflects various colors of light. In the sky above Hating City, there are countless translucent airways, like rainbows, intertwined in the sky above Hating City, forming Hating City's low-altitude flight transportation network. On the low-altitude route, there are countless small low-altitude aircraft flying methodically and quickly on the route, forming a beautiful scenery. Countless messy signs were projected over Hating City. There are even ads. For example, Just. A huge shadow appeared over Hating City. Hello everyone. I'm Li Changa. Yes, I'm the Li Changa you all like. Li Changa shook his long, silky hair, a devilish smile bloomed at the corner of his mouth, and held up a bottle of shampoo. The dandruff is gone. Your hair will be more outstanding. You deserve to have the century-old brand Waterfly Silk. Pia. Li Changa suddenly disappeared in the advertisement. Then it switches to the next ad. And so on. Yulin knew that this kind of advertising covering the entire Hating City was quite expensive, and ordinary small products might not be affordable. Scumbag. Pan Xiaozhang spat at the sky where Li Changa disappeared. Yulin. Yulin looked at the time. The time agreed with Li Changa is still some distance away. He arrived early for the first time. This is a bit uncomfortable. Helpless, Yulin could only open the Apostle Forum and browse the relevant information. At this moment, a post caught Yulin's attention. But before he had time to look, Yulin felt that someone had entered his range of perception and slowly walked towards him and Pan Xiaozhang. Yulin closed the forum. A tall woman who appeared to be in her 30s, wearing professional attire and black high heels, walked towards Yulin and Pan Xiaozhang with light steps. Pan Xiaozhang looked up from below. On the high heels, thin black silk wraps the long legs, giving people a feeling of being fuller if they are more, and thinner if they are less. The woman is obviously no longer young, but the traces left by the years have added a bit of mature charm to the woman. Pan Xiaozhang nodded, the legs are good. Yulin. Woman. Yulin glanced at Pan Xiaozhang expressionlessly. Strange eyes. Pan Xiaozhang slowly typed a question mark. He asked, huh? What's wrong? Am I right? Okay, if you have a problem, whatever you say is right. Hello. The woman Yingying walked up to Yulin. Pan Xiaozhang's words just now obviously made the woman look a little more unhappy, but she still showed a professional smile and stretched out her hand towards Pan Xiaozhang. Excuse me, are you, Master Yi? Master Yi? Yulin and Pan Xiaozhang looked at each other. Pan Xiaozhang suddenly raised his hand. The expression is serious. The woman was startled slightly, and her outstretched hand froze in mid-air. He. Yulin suddenly understood. I guess that guy Li Changa had some tricks up his sleeve. So Yulin did not continue to embarrass the woman, took the initiative to take a step forward, gently shook hands with the woman, and smiled. My name is Yulin. The woman then shifted her gaze from the mysterious Pan Xiaozhang's face to Yulin, a trace of doubt flashing in her intellectual eyes. But after shaking hands, she quickly put away her doubts and smiled slightly. Hello, Master Yi. My name is Zhang Hanlu. I am Li Changa's manager. Well, if you don't mind, you can call me Sister Lu. Well, with all due respect, what I didn't expect is that Master Yi is what Changa said. Surprisingly, so young. Yulin silently remembered the agent's name. Yulin chuckled and didn't explain much. Where's Li Changa? Well. Zhang Hanlu's expression was a little more hesitant. She lowered her voice and said, Master Yi, you also know that Chang Ji has a special status and it is not convenient for him to come here to greet you too. I hope Master Yi can forgive me. Moreover, Chang Ji is indeed a little weird during this time, I have to let Master Yi come help. After a pause, Zhang Hanlu continued, when Master Yi meets Chang Ji, everything will be clear. Good. By the way, this is Pan Zhenji, my assistant. Oh. Although Li Changa did not show up, he did arrange everything. As they flew along the route in a small aircraft, several people were speechless. Before meeting Li Changa, Yulin didn't plan to say much. Obviously, Zhang Hanlu must not know about Li Changa's other identity. Otherwise, Li Changa would not give him the identity of Master Yi to hide his identity from others. Only. What happened to Li Chang'e? In the communication function, Li Chang'e also seemed to be unable to speak. Half an hour later, the two came to a high-end small villa. To be able to own a villa in an international metropolis like Hating City, it is conceivable that Li Chang'e is indeed rich. Although the villa occupies a small area, it has everything it needs, including a garage, swimming pool, and yard. The decoration style is also extremely luxurious, which is very consistent with Li Chang'e's pushy style. For example, on both sides of the villa entrance, other people use pixie from ancient mythology to guard their houses, but the entrance of Li Chang'e's villa. Actually, 2 Li Chang'e statues were used, and they were still like Mr. Bodybuilder's pose. This is hard to describe. It took me a long time. After saying goodbye to Gui Wuxian, Yilin finally met Li Chang'e. Li Chang'e was wearing a set of home clothes, fur-edged slippers, and a string of Buddhist beads hanging around his neck. He had a vaguely elegant and handsome temperament. "Chang Ji, the master Yi you asked me to invite is here." When Zhang Hanlu saw Li Chang'e, her expression was calm. "Thank you for your hard work, Sister Lu." Li Chang'e walked slowly, with a calm expression and a faint smile on his lips. "Long time no see, you scumbag." Pan Xiaozhang said hello casually, then sat down on the sofa and jumped a few times out of curiosity. "Oh, it's pretty flexible." Li Chang'e. "Zhang Hanlu." "Ahem." Li Chang'e coughed twice and looked calm. "Sister Lu, I have something important to discuss with Master Yi. You should go out first." "Oh, by the way, don't come in. The content of our conversation is very confidential. If you really want to come in, remember to knock door." Zhang Hanlu smiled slightly. "I know, Chang'e." Then, Zhang Hanlu walked out of the room silently without asking any questions. Click. The door is locked. Plop. As soon as Zhang Hanlu left, Li Chang'e's painting style changed suddenly, with a sad face and hugging Yilin's thigh. "Boss, help me." "Yilin." "Pan Zhenji, scumbag." Li Chang'e suddenly bounced off Yilin's thigh and pointed at Pan Zhenji. "Why are you here?" Pan Xiaozhang glanced at Li Chang'e with an indifferent expression. "Why can't I be here?" Li Chang'e was stunned on the spot. Follow consistent experience. No matter what others say about Pan Zhenji, he is basically wrong. This sudden normal conversation made it difficult for Li Chang'e to accept it for a while. "Tell me, what's going on?" Li Chang'e seemed to have really encountered something. He didn't continue to mess around with Pan Zhenji. Hearing Yilin's question, he lowered his head and looked a little embarrassed. "You may not believe it, but I think I might have hit a ghost."